Hey, hey!
Hey, good evening. We starting out pretty decent here tonight. You got 30 people already in here.
30 people. I just shared it out on the Book of Faces. So if any of you guys can share it out on the Book of Faces to your groups or whatever, bring them on in. That'd be great. So, apologize. The lateness is 100% my fault. Lee was on time, and I had someone come at 5 minutes to 8 to buy honey. So, make $30, be on time. Had to take the $30. Sorry. Sorry, I'm late.
I think I'd have to do the same thing.
So the matter of fact, I signed in when Lee was calling me to say, "Hey, you remember tonight's Tuesday night? We got a show to do. Haven't missed one yet."
Yeah, I sent Bob a text, said I'm in the studio. He didn't answer. I thought either he didn't hear his phone or maybe he took a nap. So I started calling him and he jumped in.
Ian says, "Cash is king." Well, you got to take it when you can take it, right? I mean, it might be another week before he could get back to spend his $30. So if you guys didn't see the review video I did, the link they sent me to share in the video is actually to a different extractor from the one that I did the review on that we're going to give away on Lee's channel next Tuesday night. So if you haven't subscribed to Lee's channel, you need to do so because you will miss the notification for the giveaway of the roughly, I don't know, $300 extractors, $287. The 4 deep, 8 medium extractor. So they sent me a favorable email that said they liked my professionalism in my videos and they look forward to doing more in the future.
Well, so sounds like a good deal.
So you know what I said? They said when we get the plexiglass sided boxes, we will make sure to let you know. And I said, when you get the band warmer for the 5-gallon bucket in, let me know when that comes in.
Yeah, that's what I've been waiting on. Way out of stock right now.
I needs that in my life. So trying to make that happen. So the it's been fun. You know, I got those nukes in this weekend. Everybody seemed to like the nuke setup video. It was long, but it was a long process. So I put 10 hours into about 30 minutes, I think, in that video.
That's but normally about right.
But today, I took my pre-mixed bucket of Apis Biologics pollen patty that I should have put in the refrigerator, but I had it in my kitchen, right? So when I got out there, there was a nice top on it that was kind of fuzzy, and I scraped all that off, and then scooped some pollen patty into all of them. But when I got to the second one, it was empty, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" I said, "I haven't," and I was filming on my GoPro. I was like, "Well, I haven't seen any swarms." And I looked up, and it was right on the branch above it. I was like, "You son of a gun!" So I was out there, and of course, I had let someone borrow my pole, right? Because they had a swarm, and I was talking smack. I said, "Well, if you manage your hives, you don't have swarms like that in the spring."
Oops.
So I'm texting him, like, kind of eating crow. I'm like, "Hey, man, you got my pole? Did you drop it off like you said?" And I do hear a little echo, but not crazy. And and then I said, you're supposed to, did you drop off my pole like you said you were? And I just don't know where it's at. And at any rate, he said, "No, I'll bring it back to you tomorrow," right? Tomorrow. I said, "Well, I need it now."
I need it today.
So anyway, I had a what do you call it? One of those brushes. I always forget what they call it, but it's a brush that you use to like dust awnings, right? Like it's got a puff on the end, right? Something like that, but it's just a ball, right? So
I got everything handy.
I had the one from work, and so I'm sitting there knocking it, trying to knock it with that, right? And so then I just gave up and was like, let me just spray some of my swarm lure in the box, shake it. When I went out there a minute ago to sell the honey, they're still up there. It's just a small cluster, and but there were some scouts like checking the entrance out, so maybe they move into it in the morning. Otherwise, I'm tired. I'm tired of shaking. And there was no reason. I mean, they came in 3 frames. I gave them 5 frames, right? No reason. Feeding everything.
They should have probably already in that swarm mode, and it's just hard to stop them once they get in that little mode and want to go out.
And then they had the shits. Like the first day, I'm messaging Ian with photos, right? And James, I'm like, "Is this Nozema?" I'll see if I can. But today it didn't get any worse. So I think that they got it out of them, and it might have just been from the 300-mile trip, right?
Yeah, I was about to say it could have been from that long trip coming back. They wasn't able to get out.
So they were literally, that's not like flying, because if it's flying, it's going to be like long stripes, right? So it's just like they were on top, just letting it out. I don't know what was going on with them, but yeah, some of them were pretty bad, letting the poopage out. So, but today much better. But we don't have any kind of nectar flow to speak of right now. I put 10 gallons of sugar water with Apis out today. Gone. All of it. Like quick, within a couple hours.
That's like mine. I mean, they were bringing in the nectar. I mean, filling those supers back up, capping everything off. I put new supers on, and they ain't even started drawing now. But I got to looking. Most of the blackberry flowers are starting to kind of fall off. I guess they're getting ready to start getting the little fruits on. Our fleabane and hawk spirit is pretty much diminishing. We still got a little bit of white clover, but it's kind of in that middle time between early spring and then when it really hits and we get nectar in.
I've got so I guess I got 19 nukes for sale. It looks like about 5 of them are spoken for. So I got 14 nukes available. If anybody wants a nuke, got them. But they got to come get it. That's the only thing. So if you're in South Carolina, I got you. North Carolina, that's some of that's only an hour away. So I got you. You just got to come get them. But it's I don't want to. I was going to leave them a little bit longer. Some of them look really packed. Some of them not so much. So over the next little bit, they're going to be hatching out. I just don't want them to be overheating in those pro nukes. But they got premium nutrition as soon as they got here. So
About to say, if you got any little small pieces of plywood or anything like that, just something you could put over the top of them.
keep the heat from beaming on them as much.
Yeah. I was looking in the comments here too, and I just watched the video a minute ago. Anybody that hadn't seen, keep the prayers out there for Hannah of Gunline Bees, Tim and Hannah. She got stung and went into anaphylactic shock, and I
I
believe
watched
ended up
that
taking
video.
the
I didn't see her
ambulance ride.
She had to take an ambulance ride.
Yeah, he said they had to call the ambulance, and they gave her 2 shots of epinephrine, and said they pretty much emptied the drug cabinet on the ambulance for her.
Holy crap!
But I believe they do, I do believe they have the EpiPens now. They got the prescription from the doctor.
Well, that's the rough way to get it.
Yeah.
Get the
And he was saying $250 just to let anybody know, if you have a Walgreens near you, go in and ask them for their little prescription card. Instead of paying that $250 or whatever it can be for one, sometimes you can get 2 of them for like $110 is what I paid here with Walgreens' little card. It was actually cheaper to go that way than going through my own insurance stuff.
Hey, I'm helping Brad Hogg out. So I got him one of those precision grafting tools from Pierce. You know, the high dollar ones.
The Master Grafter?
The Master Grafter?
It's something like that. Master grafting tool, I believe.
So I've got one of them coming. And then he ordered that tan jacket, right? What's it called? The Sting. Let me see. I might have to search my email, because he gave me a code, and if I give you guys the code, yeah, that one. But I didn't get it from Man Lake. It's cheaper from Pierce. So I got it from Pierce directly. But it's called a where's that? It's called the Sting Stopper. So, but he gave me a code. So if you guys need one, put in the code. You might be able to save $10 on it. So it's a olive green ventilated one, and I'll give you it's kind of cool code in my opinion, but I'll share the screen. So they make up to 5X on it. And it's this one. Well, it's this one right here. The one that Corey Stevens wears. So it's $130.49, but they got a $10 off code that he gave me. And the code is Rustler. Go figure.
RUSTLER?
RUSTLER.
Does it matter if uppercase, lowercase?
Well, the way he spelled it was a capital R on it, and everything else was lowercase. But I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to drop the link in case you guys want to. I don't know how long the code is good for. It may not even be good right now. I don't know. But he gave it to me in the email. It doesn't know that I'm going to share it like right here, right now. So worst case scenario, he says, hey, what the hell did you do? And then I owe him some money. But that's the jacket and veil section. And I don't know if it's only good on that jacket. I don't know. I'm just saying it goes to 5X. So if you're a big old boy, then, or girl for that matter, then you can get one. So, the call Tim, how you been doing, man?
Yeah, not much really. The weather here has really been bad. It's either been stormy or too cold to be out there. We can't line the two up. We get a beautiful warm, or I won't say beautiful. We get a warm day, but the storms move in.
Right.
So we can't get both. And then the next day it's like 45 degrees. So we can't seem to get both. Every now and then I'll get out to the yard. I was out there a couple days ago. I have got swarm cells throughout my yard. I cleaned out as many as I could. I don't normally advise that because I think it's futile. However, in this case, I've got a bunch of new queens coming in about 10 days.
From Jose?
So I just need to slow them down just a little bit for those queens to come in here in about 10 days. And then
well, when they come in, they will have had another set of cells built behind them. You have to go and knock them back down again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll have to be out there again. Yeah. If they're intent on swarming, yeah, they'll be building more cells, definitely.
I sold a queen yesterday. I could have sold probably 10 queens. However, I'm not doing that. I sold one queen that was one of the first cells that I went to the commercial guy and got. It wasn't one of my grafted queens. And someone's like, I'm going out of town. I need a queen. I got a queenless colony. I said, well, call me back Tuesday. I'll let you know if she's laying. If she's laying, then maybe. And she was laying. And so I said, yeah, come on, bring me $40. You can have her. And got rid of her. So I had another guy call me for like 5 queens. So I called down to the commercial guy. I'm like, hey, you got any queens? Nope. Call me back Thursday. Is everybody? Nobody has queens right now. So
yeah, just a little early in the year for most people.
I'd love to have your weather, Lee. I was watching your video the other day. You're pulling all super after super full of capped honey down there already.
2 of those were on there from last year, though.
Yeah, 2 of them were on from, or 2 or 3. I don't remember. They were on
from last year.
Well, some were left over from last year, but they.
Oh, you didn't say that in the video.
They went through some of it during the winter, and then they went through more when they started brooding up. But they've done filled it back up, so they needed more room. But yeah, as far as our temperatures today, we were 86 degrees. Our low for tonight is 76. So we're pretty warm.
Supposed to hit 89, I think, tomorrow, but they're talking about severe thunderstorms all day. So temperatures really don't matter.
Yeah, I think we're going to get the thunderstorms Thursday here.
We're getting them. Well, we usually get stuff like 2 days after lease. So like Thursday, Friday, we're getting them here.
I believe ours is supposed to be Thursday through Saturday is what we're going to get. Thursday's going to be the worst, though.
Of course, it's always on the day off, man. It's not during the week when you're working. It's on the day off.
Yeah, I actually get a 3-day weekend this weekend. We off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
My company does nothing for Easter. We don't kill bees, but we don't celebrate Easter evidently at our company either.
Well, I'm ready for a day off. I've been, I don't know, I think about 10 days now I ain't had a day off. And I only had 1 day off for the week before that.
So, yeah, so it's been busy for me out there as far as other things. As far as checking my bees, I haven't been through my colonies. I've put nukes out and done the nukes and tried to catch a nuke swarm from the ones that I just got, and really haven't been in my bees at all. So one thing did surprise me today. My poly nuke, my 6-frame licensed poly nuke that was the starter finisher, had bearding on the front today. And I was like, okay, maybe I need to take these plugs out of the top and give them some airflow through there. But they can't get airflow through the top really because of the feeder on there, but maybe it'll still let the heat emanate out of there, I guess. But yeah, that surprised me. That out of all of them, I thought that the poly hive wouldn't beard, but it was bearding today. So,
what kind of temperatures you have down there, Bob?
It was 82 today, and felt every bit of it too. It was pretty warm out. So, but usually in the morning it's cool and overcast, and this morning it was foggy, and then it just got warm and sunny today. I can't.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Paul's plant wanting to hurry up and get everything done, I might get a little time off.
Oh, is that who you're primarily working for right now?
Paul.
I'm in the plant that he works
his
for.
Daddy right now.
Hey, he works up in the front office.
But it's coming. I'm surprised we don't, with everything we had early, that we don't have the nectar flow right now. It really surprises me.
Yeah, it seems here that it's gotten back to normal. Everything in my hive seemed to be what they were last year at this time.
I feel like we got a little dearth going. I mean, they were bringing in a little nectar and pollen, then all of a sudden it just stopped. And I mean, 10 gallons. 10 gallons worth of open feed gone in like a couple hours. It was crazy. Anyone ever have their hives destroyed by a twister?
I
Not
had.
me. Tim, you're the only one in Tornado Alley out of this group.
We've had a few tornadoes in the area already this spring, but thank God not here.
Luckily, I think it was year before last, the last big hurricane we had come through. I had 90-mile-an-hour winds blowing through my yard, and all my hives in the backyard stayed on the stand. But I did have a cinder block on top of each one of them.
Did you have a strap too, right?
No, I didn't strap them.
I didn't strap them in hurricane season last year. I was like, well, a brick isn't going to stop them if a hurricane comes through. If it could tear down a house, it's going to blow a hive over, whether I got a block on it, brick, strap, whatever.
Well, my other 3 yards, same thing. All I did is put a cinder block on top of all of them, and they made it.
So yeah, I didn't have any issues with that, but
not a lot you can do, if tornado comes through.
I mean, you can put a strap on it, but I mean, then
if your house can fly away, what's a strap going to do?
Yeah. It's kind of like locking your doors. That's only going to keep the honest thieves out.
Plus, there's kind of this thing that if you have them all strapped down to the hive stand, then it's like one giant sail that they can blow over, right? As compared to maybe only one gets knocked over if there's only one, if they're not strapped down. So I don't know.
The closest I come to damage in the last hurricane that we had, my number 3 yard, I had a limb fall out of the tree that was bad, but it landed, I'd say 5-6 foot away, but none of my hives, stands, nothing got hit.
The way it is in Louisiana, that branch probably blew off and there probably a swarm came out and you probably ended up gaining a colony.
That'd be nice. In fact, I hadn't been to my number 2 yard in quite a little while now. And the man and the lady that owns the property, they stopped at the cafe the other day where Renee works. And she said, they all hanging out on the front of the hive, but I know they got enough boxes right now. And she's like, yeah, it was just a hot day.
So I mark my hives that need attention with a leaf. Funny, every time I check my hives, none of them need attention according to my leaf method. Lane's such a joker. But so yeah, Extractor next week, Lee, your channel.
We can do that.
So the only thing that I don't know what everybody's got for Extractors, obviously, but if you got a 30 frame, 20 frame, or something like that, please don't enter to win an 8-frame Extractor.
Give somebody a chance.
Let somebody that has a manual crank or a something like that, give them an opportunity to win something, with electrical capabilities. So I think that's the right thing to do, but I don't have any way to check it. So the only person I have the
3-frame version of what you were showing there. The only difference is I've got to flip my
tangential.
Around. Yeah, which is, it works.
Well, see, if you're using deep frames, you would have to flip them on the 4 on this one.
Yeah, well, I have to do that even with mediums.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, there you go, Paul. I'm collecting.
Next year at Hive Life, he's going to be the old McNally's honey mascot. He just hadn't told anybody yet.
I actually ordered one for the grandson. They got kid size, so I got one for my 2-year-old grandson. We're going to give it to him for Easter.
Robert says he's got a 2-frame hand crank made in the 1930s.
Wow.
I'd like to see a picture of that.
I bet it still works too.
9-frame hand crank.
Yeah, they were made a little bit more durable back then.
They were made a lot different back then, weren't they? They were made to last for sure until this wears out. When this motor wears out, you got a spare on the other side.
You got to put a little elbow grease on it.
That's it. Or like this. It might have been like an ice cream one. I don't know how they had them back then.
It don't fit the laying frames.
No.
I've only seen one laying frame extractor, and that was at Hive Life. They had one. And I don't even remember what company it was had that.
I think somebody just said Hilco got a Layens frame extractor now. It's still hard to crank. Yep. I knew from the minute I started beekeeping that I wasn't going to get a hand crank one. I'm just too lazy. I mean, I've had to hand crank that ice cream before. If you've ever done that when you were a kid, I was like, no, not reliving that nightmare. But, you know, the work was worth the reward back then. Hey, ice cream.
So you got a hand crank last weekend. The significant other knocked it over and bent the handle. Now it's 100% harder or 100% more unpleasant to crank.
Tim.
You got a little tension on it. There, Tim. How's Hannah doing?
Yeah.
Evening, y'all. Doing good, brother. Man, she's doing much, much better considering what, you know, the other day brought on, but still pretty tired, beat down, I guess the best way to explain it.
Is this the first time she's had a reaction?
This bad. The last 4 years, she's done good. I mean, we get stung, and there was times she was going out and getting stung to help with arthritis in her hands and, you know, different things like that. No issues. I mean, just
all
maybe
of a sudden.
little bit.
Wow.
It just come on. And, yeah, I was shaking off the frame, and she said, I got, you know, one stung me in the arm. So I went over there, went to pull the stinger out of her arm, and I said, you all right? She said, yeah, I'm good. And I maybe 25 steps. I turned around, and she was where we got a little sitting area down by the bees. And she was standing there, and she said, I'm not feeling real good. My tongue is starting to tingle. And I just watched it come over her face. I mean, down her face, down to her chest. She just started turning red. I said, nah, we got to do something now. And it just kind of went downhill pretty quick.
Where did she get stung?
On her, let's see, her right arm, I think it was.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Yeah. But
that's like whenever Ricky and Ruth stopped by here at the beginning of March. And I mean, they said she's taken stings before. And I mean, have a little reaction, a little swelling or this or that. Nothing bad, but the same thing. That day she took 2 stings in the back of the head, and we ended up at the ER.
But she took one.
Do you keep EpiPens around?
We do now.
You do now. Okay.
Yes, we do now. We was able to get 2, but it still hurt the billfold a little bit. But
that's what I was telling them a minute ago. If you go to Walgreens and tell them you want to get their little club plan prescription card, I got 2 of these at Walgreens with the little practice one in here for, I think it was $110 and some change.
Oh, good night. That's half the price what we paid.
Yeah. It was cheaper for me to do it that way than going through insurance and all kind of other crap.
Did you still have to have a prescription? Sorry, not a subscription.
Yeah. Well, what they told me, because basically go to the doctor, I'm going to have to take a day off of work, miss work, I'm missing money. They said, when I called Walgreens to find out about it, they said, yeah, you got to have a prescription. But look, we have a Lake After Hours clinic 1/4 mile down the road. Stop by there after work, they'll write you a prescription. So I called the After Hours clinic. They said, yeah, just stop by. We ain't even going to charge you nothing. Walked in, they took my information, wrote me a prescription, and I was gone.
How long are those good for? I've got one. I'm not even sure. It's still good.
A year is what.
Yeah, I believe it's a year.
Yeah.
Now, they said, from what they told me, they're good on the box. They're dated good for a year. But the doctor says, even if you have an expired one and you're in need, go ahead and use it. Because, I mean, it just might not be as strong, but it's still going to help. It would be better than nothing at all.
But gentlemen, I only got a few minutes this evening and all that, but I want to come on and ask, and I'll go back through the comments later on type thing. But we're looking for new PPE, basically. What is a good bee suit? We won't have to worry about her taking a sting, period, through the suit. Gloves, the whole shooting match. A couple recommendations, I guess, as far as apparel for her.
I just got that one that James and those guys were. I always forget the name of it, but I have not taken a sting in that suit yet. Now I've taken it when I took my gloves off. I've gotten stung in my hand, accidentally pinching a bee trying to mark one, but a yoga breeze is what James said. Ultra breeze. Ultra breeze.
Auto correct.
And it's got real nice zippers, metal zippers. What else can I say about it? Hard veil. And one thing that I noticed that's different about it than the Guardian is in between the layers of the breathable material. It's like there's like a foam mesh in the middle that keeps the two meshes separated. It's hard to explain. I can show it to you if you got a second. Let me go get it.
Yeah, I mean, so far as my Guardian, I haven't taken a sting through it that I remember. But is it possible? Yeah, I've heard people getting them through there. Now, is it going to get as deep in you? Possibly not. Some of them, I mean, depends on how deep that stinker gets. Is it going to actually stay in you? Or if you got the suit on, is it just going to barely break skin and then pull back out? Or are you getting a full dose of the venom?
Is it pretty breathable?
Mine is. I mean, it's vented. Let's see. I got it right here.
So
what should I say for us down here?
If you see that in between the mesh is like a foam, it's like a standoff. So the inner layer and the outer layer are separated by the little knotted foam piece in there. And
that's from this Ultra Breeze.
This is an Ultra Breeze. Yep. And it's got Velcro around the Terry Velcro around the cuffs, and the pockets don't have Velcro. So that's still Ultra Breeze. You need Velcro on your pockets, but it's real thin, so it's breathable through the pockets. It's a nice coat. Very tough veil. So I like it. I like this one a lot. Metal zippers. So very well made. And that was not a sponsored ad. That's just my personal opinion.
No, we just trying to ask around, man, because we was talking about it, and if there's any way possible, she said, I want to do it. You know, I want to stay in it if I can type thing. But
well, Ricky Rourke is allergic to bees.
Mm-hmm.
And when he suits up, he wears the whole suit, which surprised me when I saw him in Lee's video. He didn't suit all the way up.
Now, I guess we really wasn't thinking about it. He put the jacket and everything on because I got multiple jackets. So he put the jacket on, but he still had shorts on. And the only pants I have is on another suit that I have over in storage, but it's the full suit head to toe.
Well,
and he's allergic to the point of he carries an EpiPen.
Well, he keeps an EpiPen at home, he says, just in case.
Well, you know, if you're getting a full suit, Guardian would be fine. My problem is with Guardian is because I'm tall, right? So because of that, it's like every other shirt I wear. When I lean forward over a colony, well, the jacket pulls up in the back, and then it exposes right here right on my lower back and stuff. So
Exposes that sensitive area where Bob always gets stung.
yeah, and so I think if you're going full suit, then probably just about any of them that are ventilated would probably be good, because they're all very similar.
Sarah says she has the where'd it go?
The one
The
from
Provent from Man Lake.
Well, and I just happened to put those up right before you came from Foxhounds.
I think if you're going full suit, you need to go make sure you get a larger size than you would normally wear.
Yeah, normally one size larger.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if Foxhounds.
They tend to fit small for whatever reason. Jackets is another story. I don't have any problem with jackets.
Mm-hmm.
So
when you're talking about your full suits, that's like coverall with a veil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Head to toe.
And Foxhounds has that Sting Stopper one for $173.99 full suit, and obviously gloves don't come with the suit. You have to buy gloves separate, but they also have the discount code $10 off, so it'd be $163.99 from them.
Who was that again?
FoxhoundBeeCompany.com. Matter of fact, I'll drop that link. So I don't know how long the code will last, to be honest with you, because I specifically asked him for try to send Brad one up in Canada, and he said, tell him to put in this code. So I'm telling everybody to put in the code now. So he might have to, $100 if 10 people bought jackets.
Now I do use the Foxhound gloves, and I do get stung through the gloves.
Through the glove?
But I like them because I can feel I can still use them and work the hives. I don't get stung very often, but I have gotten stung through the gloves with the Foxhound.
I get stung through the little vents I've got Blythewood Bee Company cheap gloves, right? And it's got vents right along here. And I was getting stung through there as well. So a Provent also, but the Guardian is easier to move in, plus breathes better. The Guardian's not a bad jacket. I'm saying I've had bad luck with Guardian. In a year, I've been through 2 of them, right? The first one they warranted. The second one I just gave up. I didn't even call them on, because in one season I've had to replace 2 jackets, and then that's an issue.
Now I've got 2 of the Guardian jackets, and one of them I've had since 2020, the year that I started doing bees.
But you only beat that 3 times this last year.
Yeah, but I'm rough on them every now and then too. Not as bad as some people. It ain't like commercial use that I've been putting them through. But I've thrown them in the back floor of the truck, in the back bed of the truck, thrown stuff on top of them, and so far I hadn't had a problem.
So the first Guardian I had, the zipper on the bottom was broke. The little piece that holds the zippers together broke, so it would just split at the bottom. And they warranted that right away, sent me a brand new another jacket. And then the second jacket has a hole in the veil. So I guess technically I could take the veil off of the first one and put it on the second one and be good to go again. But I went ahead and ordered the other jacket with the stronger zippers and everything. So, and it was a little bit cheaper than the Guardian for just a jacket. I don't know about full suit now. So
I don't remember what the price was on full suit.
$200 and some bucks, right?
$175 for that one.
For the one that I just told you about, the Sting Stopper, and it's tan. It's not white. It's a tan color one. Well, it looks like they have it in white as well. So
for Guardian, the vented suit for the full suit head to toe is $229. For the jacket that I have is looks like $159.
Okay. Well, we appreciate y'all, man, and I'm gonna check all this out between here and there, and everybody in the comments, we appreciate you you know,
Yeah, keep
give
us up
her
to date. Let us know how Hannah's doing and she's getting better.
Yeah, let us know for sure.
We'll sure do it. Thank you.
Let her know we're thinking of her.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
All right, Tim. We'll see you later, brother.
All right.
Have a good one. God bless.
Y'all too.
So
It'd be interesting to have someone on this show that really understands that venom, how that the reactions. I mean, I've heard that before. Someone have worked bees for years, and all of a sudden, they're allergic.
And I've been stung before where I've swollen up, and then I've been stung multiple times and not been swollen up. So I don't know. You know, that would be interesting to figure that out. Which one, you know, from somebody who knows a little bit more about the venom and how it works.
I was reading on Facebook the other day that old man, about 86 years old, he used to work 1,500 hives, and now all of a sudden he's allergic to bees. I mean, you know, you just never know.
Never know.
Allergies occur after numerous exposures, usually. I don't know. Sometimes I'll get hit on the hand and it'll get hot and red and swell up. And other times I'll get hit on the hand and I'll flip her off into the sunset and no problems. Just keep going.
That's it. I've taken a sting on my index finger before and just got that little red dot, and that was it. Another week I got hit on the ring finger, and my whole hand, my wrist, everything looked like double the size.
I think it depends how mad they are sometimes, because you've gotten stung and it not hurt that much. I mean, you can feel it, but it don't hurt that much. Then other times you'll get hit like under the underside of your arm and feel like they're trying to cut your whole arm in two when they hit you.
Get those little sensitive areas.
And I always swell up. I always swell up if they get me in the knuckle.
Ouch.
Yeah, well, I've got sting marks all over me. I probably look funny when I go to work and got red whelps. And
You're going to have to look at that and maybe keep something to the side there. A couple of them was talking about in there chipping in.
Are we doing a Hannah collection? Okay. If y'all want to do a Hannah collection, I'll order it and make sure they get it. Whatever suit, we'll get her a full suit. So let's do that. Any super chats tonight, we'll donate to Hannah's suit. I've got their address and everything already, and we'll just make it happen for her. Plus, not to mention, Hannah and Tim do construction work together, right? So if she's laid up, that's going to put them in a bind, possibly with the jobs they got going on. So if you can contribute, great. And we'll get her a nice suit. And who knows, maybe we can get Ricky. Well, you know, not Ricky, your friend Terry. You know Terry better than me. He likes you.
I'll get in touch with Terry.
Get in touch with Terry. Well, hell, we just about got a suit there. We got $125 right there.
I'm bumping something over there to you too.
And then I'll just order it. Damn. 100. What do we got? Hold up. Well, y'all going to give me too much money now.
Well, you can buy one for Tim too if they get enough on there. Get them both one.
So what do we got? 70,
matching suits.
120, 169, 170, 195. We got $195, don't we?
See, there's 25. 49.
All right,
50. 50. 20.
You adding it all up?
I'm writing it down anyway.
We need gloves too, right? That's not a suit and gloves. The suit is two what?
Guardian is $229 for the suit. if they decide to go with Guardian. Gloves are $35. So let's see, 25, 49, 50, 59, 30. 25. Looking about 273, and then Julie just kicked in there. 298 right now.
All right. Where are y'all when I need money? Just kidding.
Believe me, we greatly appreciate, and I know Tim and Hannah is too.
Tim, you here? Hey, just to let you know, we're gonna get Hannah a suit and gloves. So everybody pitched in, and we collected enough to little collection on the channel. Everybody's donating super chats, so we're gonna get her a suit and gloves, and whatever the total comes to, I'm gonna PayPal y'all the difference so you can pay some bills. So we got you, man. Don't worry about it.
We over 300 now.
Yeah, we're over 300 right now. So
we pushing 4.
How much we appreciate you and Hannah. So we're gonna get y'all hooked up. So hey, do me a favor. Text me the size you need from.
Tell them, see what their regular size is, and then remember one size larger.
Yeah, whatever your regular size is, add one size. Yeah, so if Hannah wears a medium, then she would get a large, right? Because it's going to be a full suit and gloves.
We over 400.
No, they can't hear you. I got you. I don't have you on speaker. I'll let them know, brother. And I'm going to get back to the show. All right. Thanks. Y'all have a good night. All right. Bye. He said, God bless every one of y'all. Thank you so much. So there you go.
Yeah, it does hurt. You know, this is what you do, and then all of a sudden you're hit that bad. That's
and
well, by the time you figure the time off at work, plus the EpiPens, plus suits, everything adds up quick.
Plus, Bob's got to pay it till YouTube pays him back.
I got you if you need it tonight.
We'll they got to get me the sizes and everything, and then we'll push forward. And maybe we can get old Terry to kick in something for it. And this is what we're talking about, man. This is the community, right? This is a community. This is what happens when people are down and they need help. People chip in, and it's amazing. And thank you guys for everything.
Just continue. I'm writing everything down.
You still. I mean, it's still coming in. You're just writing it down. We should have just did a GoFundMe at this point.
Yeah, it'd take too long to set all that up.
Yeah, this is quick. Y'all are on the spot. Thank you. And Tim, I saw you put some in there too. Thank you. Lee, put some in there. Thank you. And
while you're hitting the donations, hit the like button while you're at it.
Yeah, smash that like button. Sting it, if you will. Share it, if you will. Brian sent me a text. Oh no, it's good, Brian. We should be good. It's just I know good old YouTube, they like to hold your money till they until the end of the month.
They get like their interest.
And then pay it the next month, right? Kind of like Amazon does. But that's amazing that you guys just popped up like that.
I think I got it all written down now. Yeah, we over 400 though.
All right, you're totaling it all up. I trust you, because YouTube just kind of throws it all in a, and it'll say this person, this person, this person. So we can go back and double check it and make it happen. And there's Tim.
Is he back in?
And it's amazing. It is amazing for sure. Let me see. Just trying to look at Ian posting a video right in the middle. Everybody's telling me to be careful with their extractor. So next week, giving it away. And
That's got to be some shipping for that thing.
It's pretty heavy. I didn't pay for the extractor, but I'm sure I'm going to pay heavily.
Yeah, you're going to pay for the other end.
On the other end, the back end of it. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because luckily with Pirate Ship I do get a little bit of a discount on shipping, but
Bob will ship it anywhere in continental South Carolina.
That's right. And
yeah, believe me, shipping overseas or across that north border, it ain't cheap.
Yeah, and I've got to do that for Brad. I'm going to ship something up there for Brad, and when I order from Terry, I'll just have it sent directly from Terry to Tim and Hannah. So I'll make Tim pay that shipping, or make Terry pay that shipping down there to Tim and them guys. And so if hey, that's it though. If you're in South Carolina and win the extractor, I'm not shipping it. It'll be cheaper, definitely, for you guys to either pick it up or us to meet, or me come down there to your place or something. We'll figure that out. But if someone in South Carolina wins it, they're going to say rigged. That's just what they're going to, they're going to be screaming rigged. But, could I use the extractor? Yeah, it would be nice if I just had a few frames to extract, to use a little extractor. But I got the big one. So, it's like, doesn't do me much good. I'll come pick it up and meet the famous. Yeah, I wish I was. I'm not famous. I'm low key famous. So.
Yeah, remember Bob just got a YouTube channel.
Like 2017 or 2012 or something. But
just about 2 months ago, you didn't have one.
But other than the people that I see in this chat every time I go live at Hive Life, I didn't get like random people who were just walking around Hive Life saying, oh, "Look, it's Bob." I didn't get that. Did you get that? Did you?
I'm not calling no names, but I was walking down the aisle and I heard all of a sudden I heard my name and I turned and looked. Somebody's running at me and I got a bear hug. But I'm not saying who that was.
You got a bear hug?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I think Earl recognized me.
It was kind of hard not to recognize Earl, though, for anybody that's seen him.
Oh, yeah, Earl.
Until the other day when he shaved everything off, I'm like, somebody done took over his channel. Yeah, if my calculations are correct, and I will go back through the list and check everything later, but it looks like we got $460.
I've got people also messaging me about sending. Let's see. Let me see. I got numbers. Let me see. Oh, that's Keith. So
yeah, Paul, to send one book, just to send a book up there to Canada was a little over $56.
All right, so Keith Larimore said that he can do. He's going to PayPal me 50 for it, and Hope. You can Hope. And he said, let me see.
So it looks like we up to 510. So we are be able to get on both full suits and gloves. I got a phone.
I think
going.
Hannah needs to be on here next week as well.
I think she needs to come now, all swollen up, looking like Hitch.
Oh, she doesn't need to do
I'm just
that.
playing Hannah. Hannah will slap me through the screen. I bet. You don't mess with Southern women, man. They'll just reach out and be like, pow! Boy, what you talking about? Let me see. And
just make sure I put that last one up there.
And then add another 50 to that. And just put Hope. And I'll know who you're talking about. And then
where's Charlie tonight?
Tuesday night is a weird night because sometimes they do the people have bee clubs and stuff. But Charlie, I don't know. So Chris, the money is for me because I'm a great guy. No, actually, it's for it's for Gunline and Tim and Hannah. Hannah was stung and went into anaphylactic shock and had to go to the hospital. And so we're raising money to get them bee suits, full suits, and so she don't have to not beekeep. And
she makes full recovery.
Yep. And we're just trying to actually, we didn't start this. It's you guys. Actually, I believe the first person was Brian at Flower Street.
Yep, Brian at Flower Street.
And everybody piled on. So that's good. And then I'll make the order and pay for it and wait on the money to come back. So we'll make it happen. It's all good.
Yeah, Tim and Hannah, if y'all decide which one y'all want to go with, whether it's Guardian or the Ultra Breeze, just let me or Bob either one know.
Now I don't know how much the Ultra Breeze full suit is.
I'm about to say if you do want Guardian, just let me know and I'll get with Terry at Guardian. I got his number. I'll give him a call.
UltraBreezeSuits.com. I think once you go to the full suit, they're going to be about the same because the issues I have with Guardian don't have anything to do. I mean, that's the jacket, right? And my being long. So, so either way, you'll probably be good to go on those. Where's the order online? Let me see. Ultra Breeze suit. All right. So their full suit is $259 on the Ultra Breeze.
Yeah, that's without gloves there, correct?
Without gloves, yes. And I don't see gloves on the site. I mean, maybe they probably have gloves. I'm sure they have gloves, right? They got to.
Well, from what I'm calculating right now, we still got enough, I believe, to buy 2 full suits plus shipping if they decide to go with the Ultra Breeze.
But I don't know. I don't see gloves on there. I see jacket, hood, and jumpsuit for ordering online. So maybe since they don't have gloves, then maybe we should go with Terry. Probably be the easiest way.
All right.
And that'll be a good thing to help Terry out. Maybe he'll like me better. Maybe he's got.
Yeah, Ray, we was doing a little collection of money there with super chats for Tim and Hannah at Gunline Bees. Hannah had got stung and went into anaphylactic shock, ended up at the hospital. So we was collecting to get a bee suit for them.
And if there's anything left over, it's just going to be a donation because
If that's the case, that'll cover part of the EpiPen for them too.
Yep. So it's nice to know everybody stepped up like that. So
here's the Guardian gloves. I find them a little bulky, but they are good. A lot of folks love these things. You can see the material just like you were showing.
So it's got the little. Does it have the rubber thing inside, the foam stuff in between too?
The foam stuff in between.
In between the layers.
It's more. It's like a plastic in between. It's 3 layers.
Yeah, it's just leather in the inside. But yeah, the as far as the sleeve, it's just like the jacket. It's just like the jacket. But the hand, unlike my other gloves, the back of the hand has got that multiple layers on the back of the hand to protect the back of the hand. My other gloves don't have that. They're just leather on the back that the bees sting right through.
They do get right through it to you?
On my other gloves, not these.
Not those, okay. Let me see. I used this stuff on those gloves one time, my other gloves. Those things are just as soft as, they're not stiff like they were when they're brand new. This stuff was a champ.
You caught me off guard. I got a bottle of that somewhere here that I put on mine, and it does work.
It does. This stuff works like a champ.
The ones that I wash, normally when I wash them, I had some other stuff that I would rub on them, and I forgot to, so they turned to like a concrete, basically, when that leather dried. I put that stuff on them twice, and they back soft again.
Let me see. Oh, you're not anymore? Ray was allergic. He's not anymore. So let me see. You should. Oh, this is a leather conditioner that my gloves had started getting real stiff and hard from sweating and drying and sweating and drying in them. And Don Bearden sent me this. He ordered it and sent it to me. I didn't. And this stuff, I rubbed it on my gloves. I just put a quarter or a dime size of my hand like a lotion with my gloves on and just rubbed it around all over in between the fingers and everything. And that stuff this is amazing. This is probably a lifetime supply though. This will last a long time. So, and I don't know that it was that expensive. Do you remember how much yours was? Cause I didn't pay for this one.
Let me see. I've got just a smaller bottle on Amazon.
So
I figured the big bottle was going to be too much. I didn't need that amount.
This will make your gloves last a lot longer. It's called Bic 4. It's by Bickmore Quality Products.
Let's see. An 8-ounce bottle is $10.99.
So,
and I'll get a link for that here.
Let me see. So we went off on fundraising. That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. And what do you guys got coming up for beekeeping? Tim, what are you doing? Demarays or what do you got going?
I am doing a Demaray. I'm hoping Saturday if the weather holds. Then after that, I've got all my queens coming the week after that. I'm doing a lot of splits. Horizontal Hive is finally ready. I'm going to debut that. I'm going to do a video probably, when I do my splits. I'll debut my Horizontal Hive, got it all painted, put together, and going to put that out in the yard. It looks really sharp. I'm anxious to use it.
It's your first year with the horizontal?
Yes, first time, yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting experiment.
Yeah, just my son built this thing. I was going to buy one at Hive Life, and my son surprised me at Christmas time and built this one for me. I finished it up, and my wife and I painted it. In fact, I just got hinges on the top of it today, so it's ready to go.
I've got a guide that I like. I really like the principle of a horizontal hive, but in some aspects, I almost feel like it's limiting, because some things you can do in a Langstroth that you can't do a Demarest on a horizontal hive that I'm aware
Well, you can
of.
build up forever too on Langstroth.
Yeah, well, you could, if it's long enough, and then you just knock the wall out and you put another box on
Yeah.
it, build it longer.
Well, did you see the horizontal hive Tom's building? He's got some kind of crate. Look at his videos. He has some kind of I'm surprised he's not on your internet. Oh, that's right. He says he's got golf starting tonight.
He's speaking of the devil there from earlier.
Yeah, he's got a crate. He's got some kind of crate he built a horizontal hive out of. It's huge. I mean, this thing is huge.
Was that? I saw one that he had as a thumbnail, but I thought that was his wax melter he had.
No, he has two crates he built horizontal hives out of. Well, he's still building them, but they're probably maybe 50%, twice as long as a regular horizontal hive. They're huge.
Somebody ruined my Amazon rating on my swarm lure.
Oh,
they put a
rating?
4-star, but they didn't leave any comments of why they left a 4-star. It just brought down all the 5 stars I had in there a little bit. I think it was Joey. Joey did it.
Hey, Joey,
you left a 4-star rating on Amazon. No, I'm just kidding. But so what's been going on, Joseph?
Oh, not too much. I heard y'all talking about the horizontal hives. I said I need to jump in here.
Oh, do you have one?
I have 5.
I was about to say you got several of them.
So
yeah, I actually got 6. I got 5 with bees. Actually, I think next Saturday's videos putting a swarm in a horizontal hive.
I can really understand how it saves your back. I mean, I would love it from that aspect. Just putting those bees in those nukes and leaning over to the ground to work just those bees, right? That'll put a strain on your back.
Where are you at, Joseph?
Southeast Louisiana.
Okay, you're down south.
Yeah, it's not too far from me.
I love on the Book of Faces there, people really put it down. I mean, same thing like with flow hives. It's always the people that don't own them,
right?
That are putting it down. Oh, bees can't overwinter. Oh, bees naturally go up. They won't go sideways. They won't work. I love it. It's always the people that don't own them that are putting them down.
Well, they'll go to whatever space they have available.
Yeah,
so if they don't have any space to go up, they'll keep moving out, right? So I get that. I mean, I just think that there's some things like you can't do a vertical split. I guess you could, but you would have to somehow have the divider that I don't know how you could double screen bottom board.
That would be a horizontal split.
About to say you can do a horizontal split, and just like Ricky does, I mean, you could build a horizontal queen excluder to put in there, so you can build a horizontal double screen board to put in.
So,
if you were trying to do that,
yeah.
Now, how do you find the honey collection in yours, Joseph?
Well, first let me say that I have actually never had my brood to go past frame number 12. Usually it's frame 11. The brood always stops. I've actually tried to stretch them out and add a frame behind frame 10 or in front of frame 10. And the next time I'd go in, it'd be back to 11 frames of brood. Now, when I say that, usually the first frame, if you give them the opportunity, the number 1 frame is going to be food on one side and brood on the other. sometimes it'll be honey and pollen and then brood. But usually around frame 11, your brood stops and then your honey starts. And the best way to work it is when they start drawing out honey frames. If it's a new colony or new hive, you can, on that first frame of honey, once they get it drawn out, throw you another foundation in front of it where they have to cross it to get to that drawn out comb, and you can make it keep growing that way.
Kind of like under supering.
Right. Same
First,
thing.
instead of putting the new comb on the backside, you slide the one they've already done over and drop a new one in.
Okay. Now, are you dropping one comb at a time and pushing them, or are you dropping 4 or 5 and pushing them?
Well, I load that box down. It's usually always full of frames. Mine holds 30 frames and a following board. If I have the following boards, but sometimes I throw them out and I don't know where they're at. They're laying in the shed out there somewhere. But
so, like me, they're laying on the ground somewhere near a.
Right.
So you don't bother with the queen excluder in yours?
Nope. Mm-hmm. They gonna stop. She's not gonna go past that 11th frame anyway. Hardly.
That is a pretty big area for brood.
Yeah.
Well,
but once they start going with their honey and going out, now me, I'm always, once they cap any, if I got enough in the yard to pull and make a spin, I go through all my hives and pull 1 or 2 frames out of each hive, go spin it and bring them back. So that's the advantage with horizontal. You can go through there and pull it out and put it back in pretty easy without disturbing the bees. But the furthest I've ever let them get is frame 25. I guess if I left them alone, they would actually fill that box up. But the way our tallow gets started around here, I'm dumping frames and sticking them back fast as I can down here in southeast Louisiana.
So what do you use to carry your frames from the horizontal hive to the honey house or to your truck?
5 frame nuke boxes.
Nuke boxes?
Yeah, I'm not using nuke boxes for anything else.
Good evening.
After at the honey, when the honey starts, so they're handy for carrying 5 frames of honey.
Okay. I was just I was going to be a little sarcastic that that's another reason to have a Langstroth hive is because you actually have to take the combs out of the horizontal hive and put them in a Langstroth box to carry them in.
Yeah.
But you're using nukes, so you thwarted me. So.
But I even do that in my regular Langstroths. I pull frames at a time. I don't wait till the whole box is full.
Right.
That's just something I've always done. So.
Well, it makes it easier. I mean, you don't have to.
I'm not sure if I answered Tim's question or not.
I think you answered quite a bit. Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to lay the foundation down. I don't know if I ever covered the actual question or not.
All right. So I've got a guy that prefers horizontal hives. I don't have anything against him. I just don't own one, right? So I can't really make any logical things on it. But he always calls me and asks me beekeeping questions. And like last year, he was asking me, hey, why are you pulling honey out in January and February? Well, the queen needs room to lay, right? And the week later, his colony, he's like, my queen, I think they swarm because there's no queen in here, no brood, no larva. And then I go over there, he's got 14 frames of honey and no room for the queen to lay. So it's like, why'd you leave this much honey in here? I mean, it's not like we're in Alaska or in Canada where it gets really cold. Why'd you leave that much in there, Because you figure in a Langstroth box, most people only leave like 2 to 4 frames of honey in a deep for them to overwinter it. And I can't, even like when he swarms, like when he catches a swarm or he gets a lot of swarms. When his hives swarm, it's like now he doesn't have any Langstroth equipment to catch that swarm in. So this guy literally moves a whole horizontal hive over right underneath to where they're at, right? To shake a swarm in. I'm like, bro, what in the hell are you doing? I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, if that was my situation, I'd have some pro nukes or something to shake a swarm into so I could carry those bees back to my long hive to move them into it. But
yeah, I think you still need to have regular Langstroth boxes too to do stuff like that.
As far as like the honey production, I hadn't tried doing any honey production in my horizontal hive. I just used them to make some splits, put over in there, and then once they got big enough, then I'd move them to a 10 frame box. And then I did sell a couple of the nuke size out of my horizontal, but I hadn't done no honey production.
I had cross comb issues in the past with plastic foundation and frames, but now that I've waxed them, I noticed they start pulling out like usually right in the center and start working it out. So I haven't, where they were drawing little like cross comb pieces off, bridge comb. Now, when you wax it, they just are drawing.
It's almost like they just do it perfectly once you wax it. When it's not waxed, they try to build side to side for something to hold it to.
But even the other day when I was doing those nukes and it was 70 something degrees out, those black foundations, when I set them out, that sun was melting them already. You could see them starting to shine. And I was like, oh, let me cover them up or they're going to be melted down. I'll be doing that again. So, did you guys see Larimore's question? I know Lee did last year because he took them home. Didn't you have to, that swarm you caught last year that you had to A-frame on top of the truck when you got them home? Didn't you have to add a box as soon as you put them in the box? Or did you
no, I just moved them straight to a 10 frame, and then I don't know, probably a week or so later, I added another box to the top. But even I don't see really how I got them into that 5 frame nuke box, because by the time I put them in that 10 frame, it looked like they were already full in there.
Looked like that cake had frosting on top of it.
Let's see. If
I did the same. My first swarm, my first year, within the first week, I had to add a box. They built both those boxes out within a few weeks.
Look, Charlie coming in late with no popcorn, no drink, no peanuts, being all quiet over there, not talking.
Well, I got the drink.
Well, I started filming a video today, and some of you guys that came in now, I started filming a video, and I was just putting pollen sub out of my bucket onto those nukes that I got the other day. And one of them was in a tree. So if you want to see what $100 bill looks like hanging from a tree, put it in a nuke box and have it swarm like 2 days later up on a branch for no reason. No reason. It was their 3 frames they came with and 2 on the outside, and I had feed on them, and they decided to move up into the trees.
Hey, Bob, is this one you were talking about?
Yes. That's the one you shook out of the truck, right?
Yeah.
Look at the inside cover.
That's just on the cover.
Can you hear that audio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you got a shim on there.
Yeah.
That's why. I've had that on mine with shims.
Let's see.
It looks like this here is the one that just has a little wax on it. It wasn't very much. So we're gonna put.
But even just running through, pulling each frame out, they were full.
5 minutes now.
That's a good swarm.
That's the one that he had an A-frame ladder in the back of his pickup truck and a pole to get it on the tree.
Take the time to look for a queen right now. I just want to get them in the box, let them relax, get orientated to their new location. And I'll go in here a couple of days from now, try to look for a queen or virgin queens or what we might have.
I was trying to find the part where I had the ladder in the back of the truck. You can see right there, I got it's a 24-foot ladder, but it's folded in half to A-frame. So a 12-foot ladder, and then I had about a 12-foot aluminum pole with a bucket tied to the top of that.
Got him.
The things we do for bees.
Three boys, I'm not sure. I mean, that was the only one. I mean, I have 20 of them sitting out there, and only one of them did it. So I guess it's possible, but they didn't even have that as many bees as the other ones that stayed in. Now my Lyson double 6-frame nuke that I had as a starter finisher, they were bearding on the front of the Pro nuke or that poly nuke today, which surprised me. So I might need to pop the vent holes open for them a little bit, which would take me taking the whole thing apart to reach down to the bottom to take the disc off. But it would be interested in it.
So when you were doing that, using that for a cell builder, so you had all the disc in the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wow.
it was still getting cold at night, right? So I left the discs plugged up, and now the discs
you would think that they would have designed that so they could put the plugs in from the outside.
Well, on their 10 frames, it's got a screen bottom in it that you can remove the center section out so they can get some air. And the 10 frame wasn't doing that, just the 6 frame. But the 6 frame was packed with bees before,
Right.
Oh my gosh. Look who we got.
Oh my God.
Look who
That
we
looks
got.
like a breakneck attempt.
Well, I told all of them, they were all videoing me. I said, if I do fall, just make sure you get it on camera and try not to laugh at me too hard.
That looks so dangerous.
What's up there, Paul? How you doing?
Approved. I keep hearing clicks. Who's that now? I can't get to him. Joe Elam. Has Joe been on before?
Not that I know of.
You gotta add him in. Hey, Joe.
How you doing there,
There he
Mr. Joe?
is.
Hello.
Hey, I've been watching y'all regular, and of course I met you at Hive Live, but you probably don't remember me.
I ain't gonna lie. I met so many people there. My head was spinning.
Either. Did you meet me? You met me too?
Yeah. I stopped by and checked out you guys' setup. It was quite a setup.
That was all Lee. That's all Lee stuff. I just bring the mouth.
Well, that's what I hear. Hey, I got a question for you guys.
What's that?
I went and got a swarm out of a guy's backyard in his fence. I mean, his deck in his wall, and I have I don't know, mostly 50 or 60,000 bees in that thing, and it's in one of those Hive butlers. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but it's got about an inch and a half of head space. And there were so many bees, it was totally full. And I was wondering, can I mix those in with other swarms? Have you guys ever tried that?
You could probably combine it.
I was about to say, if you've already got them in boxes, you could do a paper combine.
Yeah.
Say that again, Mr. Paul.
I didn't say anything. I was going to say, yeah, you said right. Do a newspaper combine.
Yeah, if you've got one in a box already, I would just put newspaper on top of it, put the other box on it, and then move that swarm from the
add a new 2-frame and pull the frames out of your Hive butler and put them into the new box above the newspaper.
Yeah. That you'll have to check for queens in there and make sure you don't have a queen on each side trying to combine them.
Sometimes spraying them with a little sugar water or whatever helps them be friendly with each other.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah, but that should work.
Yeah, I didn't know I could pop all the way in.
So, if you build anything new, Joe, I see you usually build stuff on your channel.
Yeah, I've got a couple laying type that I built, and I've got a long laying straw that's got 5. I just and just some bottom boards with screens. I've been I'm using these cafeteria trays and putting a graft on there for the screen bottom boards, and it seemed to fit just right. The cafeteria trays seem to nice and easy to slide in and out, and I can put me a sticker with it and just clean it up and spray it. And anyway, I made about 10 of those up, and it seems to work okay.
So when you build them that 16 and a quarter inch wide, that cafeteria tray fits nice in the slots, huh?
Yeah, the cafeteria tray is a little higher, and so I just made a groove that just slide it in there, and it's pretty durable and easy to handle. So
Let's see.
Well, y'all were talking about horizontal hives when I came in, and I wanted to let you know that my Hale bee hacienda now is about half full or whatever, and hopefully by next weekend there'll be no vacancy in the bee hacienda, the Hale Hive bee hacienda or whatever this weekend. So I built three splits out of it so far, and hopefully going for another 3 splits this weekend.
That'd be nice. Get them nice and full.
And over here, temperature is finally getting above freezing. I've been looking at my videos from last year, and I found out that by May 1st, the bees were not interested in pollen patties anymore. So what I will do this year with this info is I'm going to feed them 3 weeks in advance, so they'll hit the flowers running, so to speak. They'll brood up, and by the time the flowers come out at the beginning of May, I'll have a much higher population. So I got my syrup prepared. I got my Apex Biologics, and I'm also gonna make a batch of patty.
Pollen patties.
With the same with the Apex Biologicus again. Hopefully, I'll get a really, really strong population because I got to make another 15. Well, I lost one hive, so over 15 splits.
Just make sure you got all your boxes ready so when it's time for splits, because it ain't gonna be long once you put everything in there.
Yeah, I gotta wax them.
I did that last weekend.
Build the bottom boards, build the migratory covers. I got myself like 4 sheets of 4x8 plywood, 3/4 thick. I'm gonna build all this as soon as there's enough melted snow. But I won't need them until the end of summer. I have the nuke boxes from last year that I used to make the splits, so I can just reuse them to make more and more splits, expand the apiary. And this lady, she owns an apple orchard, and she wants 2 apiaries on her land. One in a land close by, a regular farm, and another one in the apple orchard. So I'm set for a while.
How deep is your snow there now?
It depends on the It was roughly 5 feet before melt. Now it's down to about 2.5. Some spots have more, but yeah, about 2.5 feet of snow, about up to my knees.
I about to say that picture you sent me before, that looked like more than 5 foot of snow.
Yeah, well, that was a snow pile built by the snowblower. But in the backyard to the right of the photo, that was about a 4.5, 5 feet of snow. It's hard to measure, but there was a lot of snow this year.
Looks like you got 2 more weeks of Lawn John's weather, it looks to me.
I got myself some snowshoes because I didn't want to haul like 3-gallon buckets across a field without those.
About to say it's going to get nice and slushy once all that starts melting.
Another reason to get snowshoes, not to sink in that slush. I got myself a cheap sled too and some rope. That'll make it a lot easier to reach the hives.
I got 2 huskies, so you can come borrow them.
Yeah.
let them pull you out there.
I'm gonna try and film this and post the video. And by the 1st of May, I should like be beekeeping regularly again. Finally,
Yeah, hopefully if I can finally get some time off of work, I can get a little more done. I'm hoping this weekend, since we're going to have a 3-day weekend, maybe I can get a little more done, but I know we do have some rain coming between Thursday and Saturday.
Yeah, Lee, I think you'll have some rain days off, but it won't do you any good in the bee yard.
Nope. Hopefully it'll be like last week. Everybody else rains out and I stay. Got to make the money.
Well, you guys, now that we got 68 people watching, remember next week over on Lee's channel, we're going to be giving away an extractor. So make sure you're subscribed so you get the notifications if you're not.
Yeah,
so,
next week's my bee meeting. Y'all always give away stuff on my bee meeting night, and I miss
planned
out
it that
on
way.
I know we got that planned.
So,
It's Bob's fault.
it's my fault. Well, it's y'all's fault.
Yep.
Y'all got me to
Missed out on my
24
Guardian jacket. Missed out on my solar wax melter. Now I'm going to miss out on the extractor.
You don't need this extractor anyway. You bought a Hilco extractor, right?
Yeah, I bought the Hilco 8-frame.
So that's what. Now, does it fit 8 deep frames or at one time?
Yeah, I was going to buy the one that fits 8 deep and 8 mediums. It was a 16-frame extractor, but everything I run is deep, so it didn't really matter anyway. So I bought his 8-frame that was the model going out when he brought these new Enduro ones in.
You take your smartphone with you. There you go. Have it on silent. Be watching in the background.
I've done that. I'm sitting there watching my guys
You're
doing
at
this
a
presentation up in front of the Bee and Bree Club meeting, and I got you guys talking in my ear while
I was about to say,
watching on
just
the
put your
cell phone.
earbud in.
They say, Paul, what are you doing? Watching the real Bee Club online.
I'm winning stuff or trying to.
We got a good guy at the Bee Club. He does a good job at his presentations and stuff. He's a professional guy with about 500 hives, and he helps the newbies or whatever out really well.
Well, Paul, what you do when you at the meetings and we doing a giveaway or something, you tell everybody in there, hey, everybody jump over on this channel real quick. They're doing a giveaway. You might win something.
You might win an extractor.
Yeah.
yeah, and those little Vivor extractors are pretty good. I had one. The first extractor I got was like a 2-frame extractor, way too small for what I'm planning, but it was a good first step, and they're pretty cheap for the quality. I'd say they're worth it.
That one.
Yeah, I've got a little 4-frame tangential too, or whatever like that, and I still have it. But looks like Brad's not going to be there tomorrow or for the next week for the Beehive either. His is on the second Tuesday of the month as well.
But like Tom made it in from the golf course.
Well, so that one looks like on their website is, I put 269 because of the link they sent me, but someone brought it to my attention that I don't think that's the same one. So I looked, the one that they sent me is a little bit more expensive, 287 instead of 269. So $20 difference roughly. But
I can't poo-poo the Vivo one or the Vivor or whatever it's called or whatever.
Vivor.
My little 4-frame tangential did me well.
Yeah, they're good little machines.
Well, and I mean, if you're cranking, just the fact that it has a motor on it to me makes it a good machine.
Oh yes,
that gets it points right away, right?
Very much so.
And all was cheap. I missed what Michael said what's he talking about?
Well, I was watching Lisa's grafting videos. Lisa, you're on here talking about it. I didn't know how many. Last I saw, you had like 12 out of 16 hit, right?
That's a pretty good number.
Yeah, she's doing pretty good. And she got a daughter to beekeep with her. I think she was saying that she was afraid of bees. So that's another great thing.
So this extractor will do 8 if you're running mediums. or shallows. So 4 deep.
Thanks, Brad. You take it for me, buddy.
Brad wins every big prize. Just
Brad wins everything. He won my solar wax melter. That's what it was. I wasn't there the solar wax melter night, and Brad won it, buddy.
Yeah, and the legs on it are adjustable, so you can make it lower to the ground, which should stabilize it a little bit more.
I'd say it would depend how low you want to put it and what size buckets you use and to drain it in.
Yeah, I think it actually gives dimensions. Let me see. Firmer and steady. No more messy shaking. The extractor's height can be adjusted to your desired level with a range from 39.3 inches, that's 100 centimeters, to a max of 42.5 or 108 centimeters. So
either 5 gallon or 3 gallon.
Yeah, should work fine. I mean, that's what I was using when I started, one very similar to that. Not that brand, but I paid more for the one that I bought than that one. I would have bought that one for sure. After seeing it up close, you can't tell by pictures all the time how something's going to be when you get it, you know? Well, to help you out, Paul, that wax melter works great. They do work great. Mine's melting wax every day when I remember to put wax in it. Comb in it, it'll melt it. Let me see. I can't believe how did I miss that she had to go to the hospital in that video? I must have got up or something in the middle of it because I was watching it and they were showing flowers.
Pretty much the whole first half when he was walking around showing the flowers is when he was talking about it.
Okay, so I did kind of speed through the flower part to see the bees. So,
yeah, he was explaining what was going to happen in the video, why it was just going to kind of cut off all of a sudden.
I saw the raccoon at the very end that went down in the sewer.
I'm figuring that's when they were at the hospital.
Let me see. I just pulled some wax out today and he's just rubbing it in.
Nope. Hey, Paul, just tell him you're going to drop your frames off and he can wax them for you too. That ain't what, an hour and a half, 2 hour drive?
The only problem that I have with my wax melter is that the blocks that it makes are actually too big for my crock pot. I have to leave them setting up at an angle, or I have to chop them in half or something, you know.
You know the little battery operated multi-tools you can put like the little vibrating head on to cut stuff? Those work good to cut wax blocks in half. That's what I've used.
I might have to
because I got the little 4-quart crock pot, so when I get a 10-pound block, it's not going to fit in there. So I use that little tool, and it'll eat right through it.
Like those drywall buzz saws?
Basically.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I've got a corded one.
Well, Lee, like you, I already had 2 deep supers on. I put 2 more deep supers on hives, and like I said, pulled 2 splits with swarm cells out this weekend, and had one from last weekend that already has a queen that's laying in it. So looking good down here.
You guys got me. I've been looking at these spreadsheets staring me in the face, and it says leave undisturbed for 12 days. That is killing me. James, I know you're listening. That is absolutely killing me not to check those colonies.
Well, that's why I said you do it in series. That way you got some that you could check today, some you could check either tomorrow, or split it up for every 2 days. You got more to go in.
My first one says check them on the 10th. And then the next one says check them on the 14th. And the next one says check them on the 19th. So
Patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue, Bob.
I know, but
Bob,
I need these now. I don't need them I need them then too, but I need them now. They need to get to work.
I think last stream you were talking about mixing syrup.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's when I made the nukes.
I found on Randy Oliver's website there's a syrup calculator for any percentage you want. You just enter the volume and the percentage of sugar, and it gives you the proportions to use. It's in an Excel sheet. It's really, really useful. Just look up a syrup calculator on Randy Oliver's site, and you'll find it.
That's why I like my syrup. I don't have to do anything. Just split it in half, fill it full of water, 1-to-1. Don't do anything to it, 2-to-1. Good to go.
Well, Alex was talking about the Apis earlier. Week and a half ago, I finally added syrup to my hives with the Apis in. I had very little brood at that time. Yesterday, I have at least 6 frames in every hive with larvae. The frames are covered in larvae on both sides. At least 6 frames in every hive. So
she just started spitting them out.
She is spitting them out.
Charlie wants to say something. I saw him get that grin on his face.
Yeah, it works that way. This year I've never seen the amount of bees in the springtime when I first open them up. Usually they're in 3 medium boxes. They're usually always in the 2 top boxes. I opened them hives up on that last couple videos I did, and there are bees from the bottom board to the top, just banging on the roof.
Did you see James's hives when he pulled them out?
Yeah, I watched his video there. It was real nice. Yeah.
They're pretty slammed too. So he's excited about that.
Well, like he pulled that 10 framer up that deep, he had at least 8 frames of.
Can't wait to see the results on my bees.
Well, I have to say that, there's a lot of product out on the market right now, the claim and everything, but I'd say Apis Biologics definitely does what it says it's going to do.
It's the real stuff.
Yeah, it isn't a bunch of what's the normal term for that? I don't know, sir. There's always I forget what it is. Most people say, like it's fake or whatever, I don't know.
Oh, what?
Kind of like snake oil.
Snake
oil.
That's
it. Snake oil. Yeah, snake oil.
Believe it or not, it is.
That's what I was about to say.
It is hard to sell, believe it or not, because so many people have not heard of it. Bee retail stores have not heard of it, and they don't watch YouTube, so they have no idea what it is.
Well, most of them, you ask them, who Ian Stepler is? No.
Exactly.
I've been watching Ian for, 5 years or more, and he's been working with that guy up there for over 7 on that stuff. And
did you see he got a new product that he's going to be testing?
XXX.
Yeah.
An antiviral, if I remember right.
It's I heard rumors from the owner, but he wouldn't give me. He still doesn't even give me specifics on.
It's kind of like a viral thing.
From what I gather, it's something like Super DFM. Similar.
I don't know what that is.
Like an antiviral thing type of thing.
Yeah, even Ian was pretty vague.
Yeah, they're not going to let it out of. Well, I say they, but Apis isn't going to let it out of the bag till it happens. I was supposed to be getting something in the spring to do a test with, but it wasn't that item. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. Let me see.
I think what it really amazing is like, I mix up 40 gallons of sugar water in a clip, and it takes just a hair over a tablespoon. Or what's the biggest one on the measuring? Is it tablespoon?
Tablespoon.
Tablespoon.
Yeah. It's the biggest measuring device.
Yeah, I had to buy
How about
myself.
unless you're talking about cup?
Nah, wasn't that? It's just tablespoon.
I had to buy myself a precision scale to be able to measure it because I have so few hives.
Eighth of a teaspoon per gallon. So I threw somebody a curveball. So they said, so you start doing it, right? So it's like 1 1/4 teaspoons for 10 gallons, which makes it like 0.6 teaspoons for 5 gallons, right? So it's a little over a half.
So
Yeah,
you
it's
use
about an
more
eighth
than
of a
I do.
teaspoon for 2 4-pound bags of sugar, because that's what Walmart sells it in, 4-pound bags, not 5-pound bags. 2 4-pound bags into a gallon in an eighth of a teaspoon, and that's what measures out.
But I mix up 10 gallons at a time. So I don't know. You said I use more than you do, Tim?
Yeah, I use less than 1/4 of a teaspoon for 3 gallons.
Yeah, I mean, so
you're using more than double. Well, a little more than double. Yeah.
So 0.6 is for 5. So yeah, you're in the ballpark. I mean,
Yeah, it's not much different, but either way, it takes very little of this stuff.
yeah.
Luckily, right now I'm done feeding for this year. They're bringing it all in natural right now.
I thought I was done feeding. I started feeding those nukes, and I noticed a lot of excitement around those hives with those bottles on it. So I said, well, let me put some out in the open feeder and see what happens. And they just
they'll take it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, well, I notice here when there's a nectar flow on, they won't touch the open feed at all. They'll skip right past it.
The nectar flow is not heavy right now. It's not our heaviest nectar flow, but there's one coming on, and they're bringing it in piece by piece.
Our nectar flow here is actually slacked off just a little bit compared to what it was a week and a half ago. At least in my area right here.
I bought some of Brian at Castle Hives, Brian Cooper's new little nipple feeders or whatever this year to put on some bottles or whatever to try and incorporate rather than cut a big old hole in the top of my boxes. I'm just going to drill that 1/4 inch hole and put one of his nipple feeders down it, but I haven't even used them yet.
We're a ways from any kind of flow, but the dandelions are taking over the yard.
Yeah.
See, our dandelions are just starting to open up here, but we've got crimson clover everywhere. But I don't even know that the bees like the crimson clover that much.
Yeah, they'll eat the crimson clover. Now the regular red clover looks like the white clover, the little ball instead of the spear. They say that they're a little bit too long for them to get their proboscis in those, but the crimson clover they can.
And Alex is waiting for 2 feet of snow to melt, huh?
Yeah, about that.
Sorry about that, buddy.
I saw Joey get his ripples. He's got legs.
Should be done melting by May.
But we all went wavy. That's what counts.
But yeah, that this winter was really bad for snow amount quantities. I have never seen that much fall in one winter.
I plowed once this year.
What?
I plowed once this year.
Yeah. Stop bragging.
Didn't have any.
Come have a winter in Quebec. See how much fun it is. Or better yet, go back in time in the winter of '98. Then you'll have fun.
Hey guys, what's a snowplow?
It plows snow.
We don't have any of those things down here.
Last time I seen one of them was when I was working in Nebraska in 2018. They had some down there. And I went from Nebraska up to South Dakota on a weekend when I had a day off. And in the little town I went in, it was still summertime, but it said from this month to this month, whatever time frame that was, no parking on the side of the road like in town. Like you see the little shops and everybody just parallel parks. It says no parking between these months so that the snowplow can come through.
Is Dirt Rooster coming on?
No, it's Brad.
Nah, it's just Brad.
It's just Brad.
Usually we don't see him unless Dirt Rooster.
Come on, let's do Dirt Roosters around, right? Yeah.
I just wanted to. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're coming to rub in your solar max filter.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to let you know, Hale, thanks for not showing up that night. It gave me a better chance at winning it.
Well,
I use that thing constantly. I'm always putting wax in it to keep, because it cleans the wax so well. I don't even have to put it in the crock pot to strain it out no more.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you see on my channel, I put up I made one out of a Home Depot
You have a
bucket.
channel?
Yeah, it's got 6 videos on it. You can watch it all in about a half an hour.
I'm just
I got one
with
with a wax melter on there that I just made it out of a Home Depot bucket, a shower door that I picked out of my neighbor's trash bin, and a little foam roast foil roasting pan that I bought from Dollar Tree. Works great. Man, you wouldn't believe the white wax and a paper towel in there. White wax.
Yeah, that's what I use. I use a paper towel, and it comes out white as could be.
It is.
The only time it comes out a little yellow is if I had some honey in the wax or something like that.
Right.
Because the honey will go
wax.
The honey will go past the paper towel, but that's about
Then
it.
you just rinse the honey off of the block and throw it back on the solar wax melter again, and we'll melt it back down again.
But as far as trash being in the wax, there's none.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Hey, Alex, I got to thank you.
Lee's got me up there. There's mine. There's my shower door.
You're giving away 1/6 of his channel right now.
Well, that added me another 0.0006 hours of watch hour time. Thank you, Lee.
We have to thank Alex for being the token Canadian tonight.
Couldn't get James on here or Brad, right?
Yeah, they must be beekeeping or something. I know James is probably doing something.
He's probably putting 1,500 frames back together.
He ordered another 2,000 frames.
Anybody wants to watch that video of Paul's wax melter? I just dropped it in the comments there.
That's another.
How many hives do you have?
70.
Do I have
75? Is what James has. But
did he have more than that one bee yard that he had? Because it didn't look like he had 75 in that bee yard.
I think he's got 2 bee yards.
Oh, okay.
He's got several, I think.
So yeah, so he's got 75. He went from 15 to 78, and then lost 3 over the winter.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Which he thought, he knew going in that he's like, these probably won't make it, right? They were kind of weak nukes, and he lost those. So, so I think he said he was like, if you take out the 2 that he thought that were probably going to die anyway, then he really has like a 2% loss over the year. And when he did his inspection, they were so slammed with bees that he kind of went into crisis mode. Now he doesn't know if he's got enough equipment for the, for the amount of splits he's going to have to do. So,
but his bee shed is better temperature control than my house.
Well, I'm sure it's not hard to keep it at 40 degrees.
I mean, he's got all the remote control.
Yeah,
I
I was
mean,
about to say everything is connected to his phone.
But one thing he did last year that I'm really am interested to see the results is he CO2 treated his mites in the building. So
that was cool. That was cool to hear that story. That was pretty cool.
So, he says he's not ready to say that that's the reason why that happened. But when everybody else on average is losing 25% and you lose 2%, and you're doing all the same thing, right? So like Ian, Brad, and James all do the same thing pretty much, but he's the only one that's CO2 treated. And the average loss up there is like 25% is what Brad said the other night. So
anyone wants to try that, they need to talk to James because he has a specially built building. Not just anybody can do that.
Right. It's got to be able to hold gas, right? So,
well, it's nice that I don't have to have that building. That's what I like.
So don't pass gas in his building because it's going to stay. It's going to linger. You're going to get some hang time out of it. So the BIP survey for winter loss, I didn't. I don't know if I can contribute mine to winter loss because we don't really have a winter. Mine's Bob's stupidity.
We got summer and not summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost one from Paul's stupidity last year too. I think the stupidity factor is high on the chart this year.
Yeah, the biggest killer of bees in America, I'm convinced, is the beekeeper.
Bad beekeepers, yeah. I think so too.
I think we all have streaks of greatness and streaks of stupidity, right? How many times do you go out to the bee yard and, wow, why did I leave this hive tool inside of my colony? You know,
I'm waiting for the greatness streak. I haven't got to the greatness streak yet.
I'll give you one better than that. I was taking the wax out the wax melter today, and I was scraping on the bottom, to get all the old gunk out.
Right.
And I scraped something kind of hard, and I looked. It was my hive too that I had dumped in there with the wax.
It was in the block.
I'm not. Yeah, it was. No, it was in the crud. Because I had scraped a bunch of wax in a bucket, then I just went and dumped the bucket into the wax melter, and the hive tube must have been in the bucket. And they're like,
you can never have too many hive tools, right?
No,
So far, I haven't lost any of my hive tools, so let's knock on wood.
I find it.
You must have a problem.
I just leave my hive tool on top of one of the hives when I go in, and that way I know it's on one of the hives. I don't know which
4 or 5, and if I can ever find 2 of them, I feel lucky, right?
Yeah, I'm always finding one somewhere where I left it on top of a hive.
I just don't want to find it with the lawnmower. That's what I don't want to find it with.
Yeah,
really.
If a beekeeper can't lose a hive tool, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I tried one of those magnet things on my
what
belt.
What do you got, ADD or something like that?
I haven't
tried
said
one of
I
those magnet
can't
things
lose
on my
them.
belt, and I kept sticking to everything. Every time I walked by my UTV, I'd stick to it.
No, I haven't said I can't lose them. I just haven't lost one so far.
The year's young.
Man, I went out there today. I went out there in my yard today, and I was gonna make a video on how to prevent your hives from swarming. And when I drove up to the yard with my cart, I looked. That was one of them swarming right there. So I made a video on how to catch a swarm.
Well, that's kind of what my video today is. It's showing feeding nukes some pollen patty and finding out as I'm doing it. The second colony was empty. I'm like, what the hell? I looked up. It's hanging right above it on a branch. I'm like, son of a gun.
Well, and this one hive put out 2 swarms, and one was at like about, I don't know, 15 feet. So I was able to get that one a rope. And then I went inside. My wife says, "Where are you going with that gun?" I said, "I'm going to get that other swarm out the tree." And it took me 3 shots, but I got the branch down. And there ended up being 3 virgin. I seen 1 virgin queen go in the box, and then I caught 3 more on the outside of the box that were just walking around the bees all over the ground. So I ended up putting them in some little mating nukes.
Nice. Hey,
So Brad, Good Friday this weekend. What you putting in the ground?
What I'm putting in the ground?
Yep.
I'm not on Good Friday. I don't put nothing in the ground.
You don't put it on the ground? I got tomatoes and cucumbers and peppers and all going in this weekend.
No.
Not yet, huh?
No, I already did some tomatoes and Irish potatoes. And 2 days ago, I planted some okra and some sweet corn. So I don't have nothing else to go right now.
Okay. Well, I've got them all in seed trays, but I don't have them actually in the garden yet.
Yeah, I still got to till my little garden area up and then try to get everything planted.
I got to pull all the red oak tree sprouts out of mine.
Well, I'd left mine. I hadn't had a garden in, I think, the last 2 years. I had just a little area fenced off, and I actually let it grow up with all the blackberries this year while they were blooming out. But I'm about to cut all them down, till everything up, and then I'm going to put a bunch of okra in.
Hey, Brian.
I tell you what, I made me a box garden for the first time last year, and I love it. Made another this year because like your stuff that the rabbits eat and stuff like lettuce and stuff like that, they can't get to it as easy as being planting it just on flat ground, because I have a lot of trouble with rabbits eating lettuce and cabbage and stuff like that. But with that like raised bed box garden, they don't go in it.
Yeah, I still got bib lettuce and some romaine sitting out there that I've had out there for months or whatever. I'm finishing it up because the heat's going to eat it up pretty quick. Radishes have already gone to seed, so they're done.
I was about to say, do you ever let yours go to seed and then replant those seeds later?
Yep. I got usually let my basil in the fall go to seed or whatever, and use those basil seeds for next year. And pak
How about
choy.
you ever get any kind of lettuce seeds or anything like that?
I don't usually get lettuce seeds. I plant both bib lettuce and the black seeded Simpson, but I never let it really go to seed to where I get the seed out of it. I just buy seed.
Does that make any type of like a round head lettuce, or it's just a leafy lettuce?
Mostly leaf lettuce, yeah. The round
Mostly
head
leaf
lettuce
lettuce.
down here in Louisiana, you never really get it to form that head real good before you get it. So
The only one I can get is the iceberg.
Yeah.
I plant a lot of that, and I like they end up small, but I like them harvesting them, young, because they don't get tight.
Have you ever seen people cut the bottom off of the iceberg lettuce and set it in a jar of like Miracle Grow and grow the head back off of the bottom part of it?
Yeah, they'll sometimes they'll make like one or two little heads off the side of the I call it the trunk of the lettuce.
A lot of leaf lettuce, though, you can do what's called cut and go. You cut the romaine lettuce or cut the bib lettuce and let it. You cut it off. You don't pull it out. You just cut it off, and it'll grow back up again. You can come back again and get it.
Same thing with like your green onions. Even if you buy green onions from the store, cut the little white off the bottom. Use your green, and you can take that white and just stick it in the ground, and it'll actually within a day or two you'll see the green start growing back up, and then just cut it off again.
Yeah,
I wanted to
buttercrunch
try
is awesome,
gardening too
Matt.
this year. I got myself some legacy pumpkin seeds, Hopi pale gray squash, like those big gray pumpkins, and they have like a 2-year shelf life. So I'm going to try and grow some of those pumpkins, and apparently they're really sweet, like the what's the call, the butternut squash.
Yeah, butternut squash. I tell you what, if you plant mustard or turnip greens, when the mustard goes to seed, the bees love that.
They do. They love those yellow flowers popping up.
Yeah, those yellow flowers. Because I always plant mustard greens in a whole plot for the wintertime. I even feed that to the chickens and stuff. I break it green, but I let them all go to seed, and the bees will just be all over it.
Yeah, I plant a lot of mustards not to take the greens, but just to let just as ground cover, and let the bees take it too.
See, now like Renee and everybody else in my family, they eat the mustard greens. I don't know what it is. I can't stand them. But in the wintertime, if you get a little cold, sore throat, take a coffee cup and get a little bit of that pot liquor out of that pot when you make them mustard greens and put a sprinkle of salt in it and sip on that. You wake up a new person the next day.
Yeah, mustard greens are nice because they both make it so you can eat them and the bees love them too.
Yeah, a lot of people in my family eat the mustard greens, but I don't like them.
I'll drink the pot liquor, but I just can't stand eating the greens.
Yeah, it depends what kind you get to. Some of them are more spicy than others.
Some are a little hotter.
They actually make a mustard green. I think it's a Kodiak green that
that one can't be no good.
No, it's not. It's not good. It's so spicy. It's so spicy that it's made to till it into the ground, and it kills organisms that are bad in the soil for your plants. They're nemoids and stuff like that. That grow in the roots.
It's a ground cover for nematodes for the winter.
You chop it. Yeah, you chop it in green. You don't cut them and let them dry up. You tiller them in green.
And you put the Florida mustard greens and then what is it, the Georgia collards out or whatever in the winter, and those will both do well.
Yeah.
Brad, do you use that hugiculture method or whatever they call it, where they put like dead leaves and sticks and everything under the bottom of your raised bed, and then?
I did. I had a big pile of leaves that I keep in the corner of my lot that I just make like a compost out of, and it had like chunks of wood, and I put that in the bottom of my raised bed, and then I just put some regular. I went to our nursery and bought a truckload of potting soil, and I topped it off with that potting soil, and let me tell you, it does really well.
I've been wanting to do that, but I haven't got around to it.
Easiest thing to do is get you 3 2x12s or you can go 2x10s, but I did 2x12 by 8s, and you take one of the 2x12 eights, cut it in half, and that's your two ends, and the other 2 8-foots your two sides, and just screw them together, and you get treated, and so it take you 3 boards, and you can have a raised bed, and it works great.
Yeah, I use these blocks from Home Depot that have like 4 different places to put the things in. You put a piece of rebar down in the middle of it and stack them up, and then you can put 2x8s or 2x10s and make you 4x8 or 4x10 beds like that. Yeah. They work really well.
I don't suggest using those landscaping timbers because they rot. Because my mother-in-law my father-in-law made some out of them, and they didn't last but a couple of years, and they rotted.
Yeah, a lot of my boards are falling apart this year.
You don't get a lot of wildlife like raccoons and deer and all that coming up and eating your stuff.
No, we
got coons prints all in my backyard. They live in the storm drains, and they come back up and head to the backyard. They end up eating most of my figs off the fig tree, because my fig tree is kind of really short. It's just coming up, and they eat all the figs off it.
I have to put a electric fence around mine. The raccoon will come and eat all our corn otherwise.
Yeah.
You got a bear fence around the fig tree. That'll teach the raccoons.
Yeah.
I was about to say, the only thing that messes with my figs here are the birds. They get out there and they just start pecking them.
Mockingbirds and stuff like that will start pecking on them when they get really ripe.
My blackberries, half of them to the birds, and then I eat half of them. So I think it's a symbiosis kind of relationship here.
That fig tree I got here, I got to trim it again, because that thing, if I had to guess, it's probably about, I'd say 12 to 15 foot tall, and it's done grown out, reached down, touched the ground, and curving back up.
Did that last frost kill your leaves on it?
I hadn't actually looked at that one yet since the frost. Now, I know in the backyard, some of our tallows back there, I don't know what it is, but a bunch of the tallow trees along the wood line in the canal, all the leaves have turned black, and they like curled up and looks like charcoal.
Yeah, that one day of frost that we got, that got down to I think it was what, 27,
I believe.
But it was such a wet frost that it froze on all the leaves, and all of our fig trees, every last leaf died on it, and they just starting to resprout right now.
Now that's the only tallows that I'm seeing that did that. The rest of them that I found in the neighborhood, down the roads, everything else around here, they're all still solid green.
Wow. Oh, speaking of tallows, when I went to that Louisiana Bee
Field
Association,
day?
Field Day, the state commissioner of agriculture was there, and he said the deal about the bug that they was going to try to kill the tallow with, is put on hold right now, because the bug is so evasive. They don't know if they'll be able to control it once they let it out.
They wouldn't be able to control it at all. I mean, it's going to tear up more than just the tallow. Yeah, the tallow is an invasive species of plant, but how bad is that compared? Oh, it's going to block out the sun or whatever for 1 or 2 other plants near it, versus them letting a bug or a beetle out eating that plant plus 10 other plants.
Yeah, he said they were gonna. It's a couple of states, southern states, that were in the program, and they were studying at LSU, and they were going to try it in a controlled building. And he put a stop to it, because he said there's no way they would be able to keep that bug.
It would be more of a detriment to the environment than the tallow itself.
Yeah, he talked about that at the dinner at the Louisiana Beekeepers Association meeting in August. He talked about the dinner that night or whatever on that the beetle that they were looking at releasing and putting a hold on it, because so many beekeepers were saying, "Hey, this is the biggest nectar flow that we've got in South Louisiana."
The thing is, the Farmers Association is pushing it, because the farmers want to do away with the trees because it's evasive to their property.
Fence line. Every fence line they've got them on them. Yep.
Timber companies too. A lot of your timber companies is pushing it.
Yeah,
Hey,
because
Ricky, I see you asking here
they
about how
grow-
my hives are doing. I was just saying at the beginning of tonight here that I've got the Louisiana bee haciendas half full, and by this weekend, I hope to have no vacancy sign out on it.
You should make a no vacancy sign and hang it on it and put it in a video.
I should do that.
The three that I had left in my horizontal hive, I'd sold those 3 nukes. But if weather permits this weekend, depending on if we get any nectar or not, I may try to put another 1 or 2 back in there. See what I can do.
So you
So
got like 12 slots, don't you?
If I break it all the way down to the 2 frame mating nukes, yeah, it'll have 12 slots in it.
Right.
But generally, right now, I've just been using the regular 5 frame for each one.
That's right.
So will the raised bed gardens, do they have to be in full sun? Or you guys seen my place over and over again. So I'm trying to think of a place that one would work here because I got trees everywhere except for where my bees are.
Yeah, it depends on what you're planting in it, whether
Depends
it
on
needs
what you're
full
growing,
sun
yeah.
or partial.
Yeah,
Well,
lettuce. All your winter crops would probably do good in it because when the leaves are off the trees, they don't. For one thing, your winter crops don't need a whole lot of sun anyhow because they can't tolerate the heat. But
Lettuce, radishes, spinach, cilantro, all those kind of things are probably do good
broccoli,
out there.
cauliflower, all that, and then other things like tomato plants and stuff like that. If you don't have good sun, they get kind of leggy. They get kind of tall.
Peppers, corn, anything you got like that's wants a full sun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Squash, zucchini.
For winter gardens, those things are awesome because, like I said, the rabbits and stuff don't get into them.
Okay.
Now that's with a 12-inch board, not a 10. I don't know how low you can go before they actually hop in it, but because I was getting to the point where when I plant a row of lettuce or anything, cabbage, broccoli, they were cutting it to the dirt. When the plants were little, they were just going out there, and I'd wake up the next morning, a whole row would be gone. So when I made those raised beds, I mean, it changed everything. Right now, I got the raised bed. You can't even hardly see the dirt in it because it's nothing but lettuce, and I got some garlic in there and green onions and stuff like that in it.
Well, as far as if I do that small,
870 does good, right?
That will.
I said that in an 870 does good, right? It keeps those rabbits down.
well, if I do that little garden in the backyard this year, normally I used to have the chickens in the backyard in a pen, and then I had a dog kennel back there. They both have solar electric panels on them for electric fence. Well, I don't have the dogs anymore, and I don't have the chickens, so I'm gonna get like what is it? What's that little net and fence that they make for the electric?
Oh, I've seen those.
Instead of the wire, it's like a mesh fence.
It's like like a white fencing. Yeah,
I can't think of the name of it, but I'm going to get one of those and probably put around that this year and hook it onto one of my solar electric panels.
Yeah, it's almost like a portable fence that they can move around. It comes with the little poles and stuff.
Yep.
And you just got to stick them in the ground. You push on them with one foot.
That's what I use. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing this year because, I mean, we don't really have no coons or anything like that come up here mess with stuff. Every now and then I'll see a rabbit in the backyard, but only 1 or 2, and that's been it.
The only thing I ever had coons mess with was the sweet corn, but I have more problems with squirrels messing with sweet corn. Right when it goes to ripen, before you can pick it, they climb the stalk and pull it down and eat in it.
All right. Well, hey, it's 20 minutes after 10. What time you got to get up, Lee?
About 3:45 now. I get to sleep a little bit later.
He ain't going where it's raining tomorrow.
I'll be going in either way. Now, whether they send us home or not, I don't know, but got to show up. Yeah, you got to make the money somehow.
You show up for them to tell you to go home.
Well, Paul, you didn't hear this, but for 2 days straight, I've sat there and watched YouTube all day long. I have not done anything.
Yeah. You're not the only one.
That's what my little brother says. He works at Exxon, and he says, man, if ever you should have became anything. It should have been a crane operator because they got the easiest job in the world. He always tells me that.
That's what I tell them. Physical wise, that's the easiest job out there that I know of. Mental, it'll get to you every now and then, depending
All you
on
gotta
what
have is a little bit of wrist flexion or whatever like this, and you're good to go.
Well, you
If
got a lot of
played video games when
responsibility.
you were young, Atari, PlayStation 2, you're trained to be a crane operator.
Yep.
Yeah, well, but you got a lot of you got a lot of mental responsibility too, though, being a crane operator.
But that's what I tell the old lady, or Renee. Sorry, some people don't like that term. We pick on each other, old man and old woman. But anyway, a lot of people say, "Well, man, you got it made easy." I'm like, "Well, yeah, physically, but it does wear you out mentally." And I'll tell Renee, I come home, I'm like, "I'm tired, I'm wore out." She's like, "Why? You sat there all day." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm watching a 200,000-pound load go over people's head and everything else, so you never know."
Worrying about if it's secured
consumes
right.
a lot of energy.
Well, the
And
way
if
the
you're
way it
always
is,
concentrating, that's why you're tired.
yeah. Well, the way it is now with our crane license being nationally certified, if anything happens on the job and it comes back technically my fault, I don't just get fired. I don't get a fine. I go to prison now.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. It ain't
Heard
just
the
getting
Birdman
fired.
of Alcatraz. Lee's going to be the B-man of Angola.
Yeah. It ain't just getting fired and, hey, go find another job tomorrow. No. 10 years from now when you get out of prison, then maybe look for a job, but I guarantee it ain't going to be a crane operator again.
We'll see Lee coming out with Angola Prison Blues.
Yeah,
that license follows you.
Baskets all the time in them cranes.
Hey, remember, Lee, if you go to prison, don't drop that soap. They got that big boom that might come around.
I'm not sure
ain't
what
going nowhere.
You gotta have a good rigger. You gotta have a good rigger on the ground. That's
You
for
gotta
sure.
trust them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Phil said, pulling trains all day
Lee.
for him.
Phil, are you a railroad engineer?
Yep.
My buddy was for 30 years. They passed
Man,
away a
I
couple
see
years
that
ago.
ad here all the time. CSX is hiring engineers, will train, hiring. But man, you submit an application, you ain't getting no call back.
I was about to say, a lot of times it's all in who you know, not what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Not everywhere, but with that, you do have a lot of responsibility because you're going through different towns with no telling what you're hauling.
Yeah,
Plus,
my buddy
I mean,
was a big
the
one on the. He was on the Illinois Central, and then it turned into the CN. And he's like you, Lee. He'd sit out there for 4 to 6 hours or whatever, doing nothing, and then have to pull or whatever. But yeah, you've got to watch what you're doing.
The longest I've ever had to sit and just wait, New Orleans East, when I done an energy plant down there, 2 weeks straight, I could not do nothing because of the wind. So I had to sit there for 2 weeks every single day, 10 hours a day. And we only had every 14th day off. Just
Is it
sit there and wait.
something? Is it something that you monitor, or is it your crane that has
Hey,
a safety
Lee, back in
device?
the day,
Some of them I have an anemometer at the top to tell me the wind speed, wind direction. Some of them, if they don't have that, I'll just monitor it on my phone with a local news station, or I can actually call the nearest airport. What's that, Joey?
back when I was in construction, we used to have to ride in them baskets all the time on them cranes.
Riding the hook.
I bet this don't happen anymore, but you'd always have to. Sometimes you'd have somebody never been in a basket with you. You'd let that rigger know.
Free fall.
Hey, this is his first time, so tell that
I've done it.
operator to be a little careful. You get about 3 foot off the ground, that rigger would spin that basket around and around. Here we go.
Yeah. That or you take them
can't
up
do
about
that
100.
anymore.
That or you take them up about 100 foot and free fall into about 20 foot from the ground and hit the brake.
Slam them to the bottom of the bucket.
We've done that to one safety man. We had a crane set up on a barge in the Mississippi River. Well, to get to the barge, we'd take a little boat. Well, after the boat got there, anybody else want to come out, we would swing the crane around and put a man basket on the side of the levee. They'd get in and would bring them over to the barge. We had a safety guy come out there. We dipped him in the river about knee deep.
And that's why we have OSHA tailgating.
You used to be able to have a little fun at work.
Yeah, not anymore.
Every now and then you can watch those videos that shows the cranes gone bad or something like that. But most of them accidents are overseas. They must not have, that
The
the
worst one,
regulations.
the worst one that I've seen on it, if you look up on YouTube, it's Miller Park crane collapse. And it's Big Blue. It's a big Lamson crane. It fell over and ended up killing, don't quote me, but it was either 5 or 6 people when that one crane fell over.
Yeah.
They got another crane in the far back distance. When the boom come down, you could see that boom like move around, and then the cable had a man basket on, and it looked like a slingshot. That basket just flipped up and went to the ground, and they had 2 guys in there.
Yeah, Ocean, the CSB come in your plant and shut you down for 6 weeks. It's not a laughing matter.
Not at all.
All right, Charlie.
I don't know about crane operation, but back in the I mentioned that earlier. The winter of 97, 98 here in Quebec, there was like 5 days of ice rain in a row, and all the power line except one fell like dominoes. We had snipers shooting ice off of and like antennas and building. Helicopter bringing logs up to the last power line and just dropping the logs on the iced over cables. Like the power was out for some people for 5 or 6 months.
Ooh.
It was crazy.
Have you seen that crazy job? Speaking of helicopters, where they suspend the guy from a line and he's in a
power line?
harness, and he's working power lines, suspended from a damn helicopter.
Yep. They reach out with that little arm, and you can see the electricity jump. Basically grounding themselves off to it, but it's actually electrifying themselves.
Hey, we when I was doing commercial work on rooftops installing big package units and stuff, and we had a helicopter lowering package units onto the roof of we did a Walmart, we did I forgot, it was like a Liberty Mall or something, but we had this cable that was hooked to a lightning rod on the roof, and we had to hit that unit with that rod to take the static out. Yeah, because if you grab that sucker, it would have lit you up.
Oh yeah.
And you could see the fire fly like a spark plug to that rod when you was going to hit that unit.
And you go, yabba dabba doo.
Yeah.
Oh, here it comes. Hit the button.
Everybody though at work, I mean, all the newer guys out there, they ask me, "Oh, what do you got to do to be an operator and this and that and how is?" I'm like, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, when you first start doing it, it's like any new job. Oh yeah, it's cool. I'm a crane operator. After a while, do I really have to get up and go to work today?
Yeah, really.
It's just like any job. You get tired of it. I tried to explain to Renee. I said, imagine sitting in your car in your driveway for 10 hours in the driver's seat and not driving anywhere. Yeah. That's what I do every day.
It's kind of like getting across the I-10 bridge on I-10 or whatever. You sit there for a long time and finally get across the bridge. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you get to the time clock and you're like that cartoon. Hey, George. Hey, Ralph. You ever remember that?
Yep. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've made a decent living doing it, but you get burnt out on it. It gets old.
Hey, look, let me tell you a boring job. When I got out of high school, I went to work at Angola, and I was a tower guard. And after sitting there 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, you was some days hoping somebody try to jump the fence.
Need some kind of excitement, huh?
Yeah, please, I need to unload this gun. Somebody go for the fence.
How long did you work there, Brad?
6 years.
You had to turn in your rounds because it started getting rusty.
Yeah.
Are you planning to go full-time beekeeper, Lee? Or are you planning to go full-time beekeeper or just...
I'm hoping eventually, yeah. That's my plan. Now, doing it like commercial-wise, nah, I don't really plan on doing that. I'm hoping for probably around 100 hives total.
Well, come on. You can get about 20 of them out of my yard right now.
He's going to catch those from my swarms this year.
Well, 100
hives. Ever
hives.
Operated a friction rig on a rigger?
I'm figuring he's talking about on a rinker.
Yeah, ringer. He changed it.
Not the 4100. That's the old friction, but I've run the 2250s, 888s, which are the hydraulic over air over hydraulic and electronic over hydraulic. You very seldom see an actual friction anymore. They still got a few of them out there.
Yeah, my wife's grandfather was a crane operator out on the rigs.
You do it offshore, you got to time all your movements with the waves.
Yeah.
So as the wave comes up, you got to pull that cable up at the same time.
Then he was like 75 years old and riding on the back of a garbage truck in a small town in Mississippi, being a garbage man. He just didn't give up.
Farmers. Months ago, he didn't like the commercial promotions. What commercial promotions? Did I miss something?
I didn't see nothing.
My father-in-law used to work offshore.
He said last time anyone heard from Phil, I guess Farmagia from Ireland.
Faramana?
Yeah, I've spoken to him. Philip has a I don't want to put his business out, but
personal matter.
Yeah, personal matter that is kind of kicked in for him, so he hasn't been on at all.
He's not sick, is he?
No, it's
he lost another finger.
He's down to two fingers. You can't type anymore.
Was that crass? I'm sorry.
No, he's I'll just say him and his wife are having issues. We'll put it that way. So he has popped in a couple times since, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a little while, but we did see him there.
Well, I hope he's all right.
Mike said he had a Tonka crane back when they were made out of steel. Remember when Tonkas were made of steel?
I still got my Tonka dump truck from when I was a kid.
I had a no.
You could kill somebody with that Tonka truck if you hit him in the head with it.
I had a Tonka
dump truck. Had a little lever on the side with a hydraulic bar. You push a little lever and it go. Hey.
I had the dump truck and the motor grader.
I had the front loader in the dump truck.
We had the dump truck and the front loader, and we used to play with it in the sandbox, which is also the cat box.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Dig up treasures.
Loader.
We found treasures in there. Yes, we did.
Man, and when I bought one for my son, I was going to buy one when he got of age, 5 years old, whatnot, and they were all made out of plastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you don't want to know the price on the old metal ones if you can find one now.
Oh,
my
really?
kids inherited mine, and my grandkids are still playing with mine.
Yeah, my grandkids are playing with vintage toys too. The Fisher Price ones, like the castle. They love playing with that castle that my son used to play with, and you can't find that thing anymore. Or the playground that they used to have, the Fisher Price playground, or the little tyke stuff.
Mm.
It just
you still got your My Little Ponies, Hale?
No. I got a Cabbage Patch Kid if you're interested.
He's got it right next to his Rainbow Bright.
Wow.
I never had any My Little Ponies.
You guys are wrong.
Oh wait, that was Lee. That was Lee.
I ain't gonna lie. I did used to have to buy them. That's what my daughter liked when she was little. As long as it was little, tiny, that's what she wanted every time.
I think I have a Barney the dinosaur or something. I love you, you love me, everybody, whatever.
My kids got on a Betty Spaghetti.
That's what my little boy grew up on, was the dinosaur one. You had to put the VCR on automatic rewind, and he just keep watching over and over and over.
Barney?
Yeah, I wanted to kill that dinosaur.
And then there was Blue's Clues. Went from Barney to Blue's Clues.
Yeah, my daughter liked Blue's Clues. That and what was the other one? It was like little aliens. They were in costumes, dressed up like Barney, but it was.
Oh aliens. Yeah, those were the ones that were kind of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Teletubbies.
Teletubbies. Yeah.
Teletubbies. I bought my daughter a DVD of that, and she loved it. But every time she went to my sister's house for my sister to babysit for her to stay the night or whatever, I would send that DVD with her. And my sister swore, "You send that DVD again, and I'm gonna kill you." So I'd make sure when my,
Teletubbies was nothing just mind numb, but
so I would make sure that when my sister got my daughter's little clothes bag and everything, her little suitcase, whatever, when she opened it up, it would be the DVD would be sitting right on top waiting for her.
And all you'd hear is time for Teletubbies, time for Teletubbies. And the Tubby custard.
I could just picture your sister's house after she opens this, just the DVD going through the window.
I bet you that was a Canadian.
Nowadays,
was
the Teletubbies would be a hit show.
Yeah.
They were frowned upon back then when everybody found out about them, but then now they would be
look at
top of the charts.
What is it? Look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when we were kids versus how they look now. They look totally different.
My grandson loves Ninja Turtles.
What's the other one that had all the different guys that wore different color shirts on it?
Power Rangers.
No, I know the Power Rangers, but this is another like little kids one. Gosh, I can't remember. I can't remember the name of them.
Speaking of Teletubbies,
here he is. It's Nipsey Doodle.
Oh, that is so wrong.
Oh,
wait, one of the original Power Rangers.
Actually, I had a friend of mine that was one of the lighting guys on the Power Rangers. That was kind of weird.
Really?
Yeah, they did the background lighting, and it was surprisingly it was filmed in the United States. That always threw me. But hey, I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys some really great news. If you guys caught Charlie's last show, our cousin's boy. Oh, jeez. Our cousin's boy that had a stroke.
Yeah, Joey.
They're actually discharging him.
Great.
We're brain surgery on him, and just want to thank you all for the prayers. It was amazing.
So Mike, last time you said they tried to move a artery around or whatever, but he was still paralyzed on one side.
Yeah, it has actually. Thanks for asking that, Paul, because he actually got up and started running around the children's ward.
Oh wow,
dang, that's good.
That's good.
I'm like, what?
We put him on a prayer list for Sunday school this past weekend, so we trying to lift him up. Yep.
No, really, really appreciate that. They can't quite figure it out. No, he has some inflammation on the other side, so they're going to have to go and do surgery on that side to bring it. I think the problem that he's having right now is his right side of his face is still a little weak, and he can't lift his right arm up all the way. I'll take that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Hallelujah.
It was just absolutely amazing. Just a grand thing. Yeah, exactly, DC. Praise God. Easter's here. So anyways, I just wanted to I've got surgery tomorrow, so if you want to pray some more, go for it. It's just a couple of hernias, minor ones. So, yeah, otherwise, I go to turn the doggone computer on. I hear you guys all talking about cranes and Tonka toys, and I thought,
yeah. Were you in 1969?
I was actually in Ron Sweep's big sandbox in our neighborhood, digging up cat turds.
Just like me, yeah.
I wasn't born in '69.
No, you weren't, Alex, but that's okay. You'll outlive us by about 3 months, so everything's fine.
He's up there in the cold. He's been preserved for years up there in the fridge.
Everybody with hair was born after that. Everybody without hair was born before that.
I forgot a little, but I am losing it.
That's just absolutely crazy. Tim and Alex, how's your winter weather? And Paul?
Oh, weather here is warming up finally.
Yeah.
I mentioned this earlier in the show, but I'll start feeding pollen and sugar this weekend, and hopefully, because I noticed like I took note of the time they stopped taking in the food last year on my videos, so I'm gonna give them by May 1st they stopped taking a feed, so I'm gonna 3 weeks in advance give them pollen, give them sugar with the Apex Biologics. So by the time the flowers really start blooming in May, they're going to be in full swing.
Wonderful.
Brooding takes about 10 to 28 days.
Okay.
That's the plan. Feed them so they start brooding 3 weeks in advance, and they start emerging with the flowers.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay, I'm sorry. It's the front end loader that I've got, Joseph. Or is it the side grader? I can't remember now. We got 3 of them
That's
back.
awesome.
Yeah.
You're talking about the cranes and all. This is one that I was running.
Joe's
Please.
got 'em all.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Lee, I thought you were on the top all the time.
I'm on bottom. I don't do the tower cranes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you sent a view once, and man, that's a lot of responsibility. You know, that's
they're still going on kids show. Oh yeah. So I just put in there. I watched Sesame Street, The Electric Company, and Zoom.
wow.
Zoom was a Canadian show.
I never saw that one.
You
I
never saw
thought
Zoom?
that was a conferencing app.
Yeah, it is
My name
now.
is Zoom, and I come from the moon.
And then they're talking about the what was it called when they were talking about I'm just a bill and I'm sitting here on Capitol.
Oh,
Conjunction. What's that?
Your function, hooking up words and phrases that sound like, yeah.
Steve Horner's got it, baby. I'm just a
Oh.
And then
Yeah, I was an 80s kid, so Ninja Turtle, G.I. Joe, Transformers.
well, they had Sesame
That's
Street
what I
in the
watched when I was a
80s.
kid.
Yeah,
What
that
did
was
they-
always fun. We had let's see, one of my business partners, littlest boy would come in, and I could talk like a transformer, and that would freak him out.
School
Transformers, robots in disguise, and this little 6-year-old kid.
Man.
robots.
Transformers was my thing when I was little.
Was it?
Yeah, and
Okay.
so when they started making the movies, they're like, "What? They real?"
Major
Playhouse.
Matt
You're about
Mason.
my age, Brad.
Hey, what was the guy's name who was made out of cheese? He's talking about a wagon wheel, and he was like the cheese. You know, what I'm talking about. Had a big cowboy hat on, like a 10-gallon cowboy hat. Schoolhouse Rock.
Look at Phil here.
Pee Wee's Playhouse. That's a movie theater, isn't it?
Oh,
I do remember Pee Wee's Playhouse, but I remember Transformers, He-Man.
thank you.
Yeah, He-Man, Land of the Lost.
Yep. How old
Oh,
are you?
yeah.
Hey, Brad, how old are you?
I'll be 53 in May.
Oh, hell, you got almost 10
You're a
years on me,
month
but I still
older than me.
remember.
What day in May?
Kids.
May 9th.
Yeah, you're almost exactly a month older than me.
Yeah.
Really?
46.
So was your dad in
I was a
Vietnam?
kid.
My dad?
Yeah.
No.
He didn't go to
Mine was.
Vietnam?
Thundercats.
I was about to say, because I was a R&R baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So dad went to Vietnam and then had that little R&R trip to Hawaii where my mom met him over in Hawaii. And then
Oh, okay.
9 months later, woo, there's Bob.
It was a Hawaiian.
Oh man, that's funny.
Let's see.
And Captain Kangaroo, Thundercats,
Oh, yeah.
I remember
love
that.
HR,
Mr. Green Jeans.
HR Puff and stuff. Those were
Johnny
done by I
Quest and
forget what the.
Raji.
Yeah,
HR Puff and stuff. I remember that one.
yeah. It was a pair of brothers that did that, and then they also did the Land of the Lost one. That was their the Kraft Brothers. That was the name. They did those 2 shows.
I loved the Land of the Lost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Great.
That was
The
a good
original
one.
The Slee Stacks.
HR Puff.
Please,
Yeah,
Stacks.
that was like on drugs, wasn't it? That was you had to be
Yeah,
on heavy drugs to
HR
watch
Puff and stuff.
Now, I'll tell you what. I
Oh, Russell. Yeah,
was hooked on.
Sky King. How
I
many
was
guys
also-
know what Sky King is?
I was also hooked on the live shows like Big Ben or Gentle Ben and Lassie and
Yeah.
Flipper,
Oh yeah,
Rin Tin Tin.
Flipper and
Rin Tin
yeah,
Tin.
Rin Tin Tin.
But how many of you still remember when TV was only black and white?
I do.
I don't think I do.
I
Watch
moved
the
to
moon
Baton Rouge in
landing.
1985 with the black and white TV. Yeah.
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 I mean, shows were only in black and white.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, Brad,
How
do
many
you?
how many remember when TV used to go off the air?
Oh yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
2:00 in the morning, it would play the national anthem, and then it'd
Yeah.
either be a black
You get a
screen
bar
or
across
just
the
like
screen,
little
and that was
lines
it.
on it.
Yeah, you could. And on Saturday mornings, you could wake up real early, and they would come on with the national anthem, and the cartoons would start.
Oh, I missed
So-
the cartoons.
I think it was either Friday or Saturday night. they had the creature feature would come on, and it would be like an old Godzilla or King Kong or something like that would be on TV, and then that would run you right to midnight and shut off.
3 channels. Yeah,
I remember that, Steve.
I was
It wasn't only
channel-
3 channels. Sometimes if you lived in a certain place, you got 3 channels multiple times from different cities.
Right.
We got 4. We got PBS 2.
Yeah. We had,
ABC,
what was
NBC,
it? 2, 9,
CBS.
27, 33, and then we finally got 44. So we ended up with 5 channels still on
Yeah.
Raptors.
Then we had,
Mhm.
yep, Benny Hill was on.
Down here in Louisiana, we had a show called the Morgus the Magnificent.
Oh yeah.
You guys remember that?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
You remember
you
Buckskin?
had,
You remember
you had
Buckskin Bill?
Buckskin Bill.
Yep, I remember
Yeah.
Buckskin Bill.
Down
Yeah.
here in Louisiana.
I actually got to meet him one time when I was in elementary school. We went on a field trip to the Baton Rouge Zoo, and he was there doing stuff.
How many of you had to go outside and turn the antenna to get a better reception on TV?
I was the
We
Yeah.
had, we had a,
You had
we
to,
had
you had to wait for somebody inside to holler. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah,
Stop.
yeah.
Go back.
it was
You had
like,
to reach
go
out the
back.
window and do it.
or
Yeah.
You guys are great.
how many times did your dad say, "Hey, go change the channel. This is coming on." He was
Yeah.
looking in the
With
TV
with
guide. Hey,
wires.
Yep.
I was one of the original remote control
I-
as a kid.
The
I
remote
went-
control was throwing something at your head. Change
Yeah.
the channel.
My cousins were when we were growing up were big time. They had money. They actually had the first satellite dish that
that
came
thing-
out.
Oh wow.
huge.
Yeah, that
The big one?
huge satellite dish. And if you position the satellite at a certain position, you could get the Playboy channel. Okay.
Oh
And
no.
my parents and their parents went out to eat one night. They left us there, and some of the kids were older, like 14, 15 years old, and they said, "Hey, let's go watch the Playboy channel." And you have to go out there and crank that satellite to get into a different position, and the damn thing fell off the track and fell out the yard.
Yeah.
So when they came home, their daddy knew exactly what they were doing because they had did it before. Everybody got an ass whipping that night.
That's because he did it before.
I remember they had the old hand crank. You had to go out there. It was 2 cranks, one for up and
Yeah.
down, one for left and right. But then they came
Yeah.
out with a motorized one that was connected to the box inside. So when you changed
no.
channels, it would say you were going to a different galaxy. So
Yeah,
that
no,
if you
no,
look
this one was
outside,
just-
your satellite was actually moving and repositioning.
No, this one was a hand crank. Somebody had to stand by the window and holler when the channel became clear.
Yeah. Yep.
That's funny. Yep.
Larimore got it. We're old.
I watched,
Oh,
and I loved when Battlestar Galactica came on TV.
Oh yeah, that was one of my favorites. I was a
Yeah,
big
the
science.
2005 version was pretty good.
Which one?
You're such a
The
kid.
2005 Battlestar Galactica, they remade it. Was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that series was good. The remake of Battlestar. Yeah.
And
Now, I got
then-
another old one back then. Y'all
Did you
remember?
see that? Did you see that, Bob?
Yeah, that one. Is that
Yeah,
the one
the-
that had Katie Sackhoff in it?
Yes.
Well, you know she's in The Mandalorian too now.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. The only thing I mean, she was good in her position that she played on Battlestar, but they changed it from a man to a woman.
I
it's-
think she'd be good in any position just to.
see.
We don't deal with
Uh,
pronouns
There went the
here.
demonetization. Just
We
went
don't
out.
deal with
winner.
pronouns here. You choose your own pronoun.
Yeah.
Y'all remember the old Doctor Who's?
Oh yeah. That came on too.
I was surprised when my daughter was in junior high. She started watching all the new ones, and I didn't know they had come back out. She was talking about this show she'd been watching. She wanted all the little stuff for her room, decorations, sheets, blankets, and all that. I'm like, what is it? She's like, Doctor Who. I'm like, what?
Right.
Buck Rogers. So that was another good 80s
Yeah.
one.
Oh, Buck
yeah, I
Rogers in the theater.
Um,
came out.
Wilma.
Yep.
Yeah, we used to watch Gilligan's Island when they weren't.
I think I seen Wilma walking in the background there a minute ago, Brad.
Twiggy.
Hey, I got a funny one for you. Who asked, who's your favorite, Marianne or Ginger? Have you guys ever seen the Minnesota guy, Richard Dean Anderson? He went to my rival high school. That was funny. Stargate, the TV series Stargate.
Yeah.
They have a
Yeah,
base Air Force base doctor there, and I forget what her name is. And her and the actress that does Marianne could be twins, absolutely identical.
You're talking about Amanda
Ed
Tappy?
Sullivan's show. And I saw Black Hole, the movie, in the theaters. I saw the original Star Trek movie in the theater. But you know what? I never saw Star Wars in the movie theater. Which,
I did.
I
Return
never
of the
really
Jedi.
got into the Star Wars.
I was 6.
I saw the last one.
You were 6 when what? When the
Return of the
original?
Jedi came on theater, I was 6.
The original one.
1977.
Empire
kidding.
Strikes Back was one of my wife and I's first dates.
Wait a minute. You were born in 77?
Yeah,
And, well, the first movie came out in 78, right?
77.
77.
Oh, 77.
And Paul, that was one of your
77.
dates with your wife.
Empire
Yeah, I
in
bought her-
80
I bought her
and
small
Return of the
dog.
Jedi in
We
83.
went to the movies, man. It was love at first sight.
There we go.
Ma and Pa Kettle and the Little Rascals. I used
Oh,
to,
the Little Rascals. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we used to watch all that, but it was on Sunday, so we'd watch
Now they call the Kardashians.
we watched the Little
Oh, man.
Rascals and
That's good.
Abbott Costello
Three Stooges.
and the Three Stooges.
somebody
for
said
sure.
Fat Albert here before. Fat Albert and the Pink Panther were the good cartoons on
I
Saturday.
remember
Yeah,
Pink Panther.
Well, Pink Panther used to play before each movie when you go to the theater. You used to
Right.
watch
Oh.
an episode of
Have a
the
little
Pink
short.
Panther.
And the Waltons and
The
the Little
Waltons?
House, for that matter.
Hey,
Yeah,
I've
Little
got a
House on
question for
Prairie.
you guys because I've never been able to find out what this is. We'd have our elementary school, and like on Saturdays, they'd play some TV show for us little kids. All the moms would drop us off or whatever. It's like an hour-long thing. And the scenario was it took place in colonial times, and these guys would ride their horses, hidden horses, out from underneath one of these old homes, and they were in disguise, and they would. I've yet to. I think it might have been done by Disney, but I've never been able to find out what the hell that was.
They rode horses and they wore a disguise, and they were back in your day.
Colonial times, yeah. No, mine was like
That's what he was saying. Back in your time.
I mean, there was the Three Amigos with Steve Martin.
The Three Amigos. Hey, hey,
No,
hey.
this was colonial. Traditional colonial, like Revolutionary War, was really interesting. But anyways, I'll give it a
White
shot.
hat that had holes cut in it.
Demonetization. I
What do you
ain't doing
mean,
that.
pale face?
Heads up, the giveaway is going to be postponed a couple of weeks because Bob is going to go down in subs after the night.
Yeah, I'm going to be suspended. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
So,
god!
Mike, was that a
YouTube's going to be
movie?
taking away some.
Was it a movie or a TV show? Mike?
It was about an hour long, and they
I think
ran it on a
Disney-
35 millimeter
That
projector.
was a Disney movie.
Was
That
it a Disney movie?
I think.
I want to say it was Disney. It was a series.
No,
So-
I don't think it was that.
What did they do?
God, boy.
Zero.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Zorro, and there might have been 3 or 4 of the guys. What was this, Mike? If it was in your day,
Three
you don't
Musketeers.
have a lot to choose from. Shouldn't be hard. Okay, Larry.
The Swamp Fox TV series is a television miniseries produced by Walt Disney Studios and starring Leslie Nielsen as an American Revolutionary War hero.
No way.
Francis Marion. Could that have been it? It looks like
I'll let you know in a second here.
Leslie Nielsen. That was like Quit Calling Me Shirley.
Original release was October 23rd of 59 through January 16th of 61.
Okay, I'm
Like,
bringing
you
up
are
pictures
old.
of it. Yes, I think that was it. Well, no. Well, maybe I'm looking at the Swamp Fox and I'm looking at the Colonial Unit. Yeah, that could have been it. I'll have to look that up. Thank you so much for finding that. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen was a really serious actor until the movie Airplane came along, and then people figured out how damn funny he was.
That was back in black and white for sure, Mike. You're old.
Well, he was saying something about growing up in the colonial times, but I mean,
Yeah. well, gee, just look at him.
Oh man, I was born in 1422 in a fjord in Norway, so don't give me any crap. I am immortal. Keep going.
But before that,
I wish my bees were.
McLeod of the Clan McLeod.
hey,
Thank
Mike,
you. I was waiting for you to jump.
Mike, you can just always tell Brad. I mean, you wasn't born in the Stone Age.
Stone Age.
No,
Okay.
that's why he lives where it's so cold, is to preserve him.
Oh, that was another good one, DC. The movie Westworld. That was a freak show.
Oh yeah, and there's Police Squad with Leslie Nielsen. That was the original. What's the one he did later on after
Naked Gun?
The Naked Gun? Yeah, so that's what that came off of the Police Squad, right?
I was looking at Larry Moore earlier. He was talking about Green Acres. We would go skiing in Colorado back probably 20 years ago and come in at lunch and watch Green Acres and The Flying Nun at lunch,
Lord.
and then go back out to the slopes.
So Eddie Albert, the star of Green Acres. Have you guys ever seen his military record?
Hey, I liked Hogan Heroes.
I liked Hogan's Heroes too.
Yeah.
Eddie Albert was told to go and get some radio equipment at one of the invasions in the Pacific, and he went the ship and got out there and ended up saving 60 wounded soldiers. Kept bringing them in. He disobeyed orders. I think he got a Bronze Star for that. All under fire. So, and it turns out he was a hardcore organic farmer too, which is kind of funny if you look at Green Acres. So,
That's for Clarence. What's your vector, Victor?
I got a little trivia for you there, Mike. You talking about
Please.
the Bronze Star? What ranks higher now, the Bronze Star or the Purple Heart?
oh,
Bronze Star.
Bronze Star is 2 steps.
okay, there we go. 007, absolutely.
And
Sean
then the
Connery.
Silver Star, and then
Medal of Honor.
no, there's one in there, one in between there, like the Medal of Valor or something like that.
I know nothing. Nothing.
Only reason I knew that my dad had the Bronze Star. He never, yeah, he was supposed to get the Purple Heart, but he never would go back and get it. He said they had other people that was more deserving.
Boy, that's a man. So what was the trivia, Lee?
Just which one ranked higher, the Bronze Star or the Purple Heart? Purple Heart is higher class than the Bronze Star is higher class than Purple Heart now.
Yeah. That's I guess, well, the Bronze Star is, but it's also kind of, to me at least, it's a matter of condition.
Well, the reason that they ended up changing it, because the Purple Heart is technically anyone that was injured in combat.
Yeah.
So they said not downplaying anybody that was injured, but they just saying that technically anybody could get injured and get the Purple Heart. But they said the Bronze Star is awarded for people displaying honor and bravery above their standard.
Yeah.
So it was a harder achievement, I guess you could say.
Yeah. My brother's friend, he was getting his military he went to Vietnam and he was getting his, they signed him up. He didn't get his military payment, I guess you would call it, like a retirement type check. And he said, he said, I have a Bronze Star, but no Purple Heart and all that. And what did you do? And he said, I shouldn't have done something. He said, it's something that I shouldn't have done, type of thing. But it was kind of like, from what my brother said, he was in a firefight over there, and it was kind of like Forrest Gump, where he was a medic over there, and I think he was like one of a few that made it through the firefight, but he carried out a bunch of guys.
There you go.
And that's all you have to say about that.
Just funny, we talking about that. The different awards. I got my dad's DD-214 here from Vietnam. So he's got the National Defense Service Medal from Vietnam. He got 2 of them. Parachute badge, good conduct, Vietnam Service Medal, 2 of them. Army Commendation Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Bronze Star Medal, and 2 OS bars.
Wow.
So where did things go wrong, Lee?
I don't know. Somewhere in there.
How high was the first crane you fell off?
I don't know if it was high enough. It hurt his head.
Oh man.
He didn't fall off a crane. What was his first crane that tipped over?
Oh.
I don't have no wood to knock on, but I got paper to knock on. I hadn't had accidents yet, and I don't
Yeah,
plan
my
on
dad
it.
was in the 101st, and he said, I jumped out of an airplane 22 times before I ever landed in one once.
Your dad was
He said, "There's
101st?
He said there's something wrong about jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
I'm going to show you right here. If you could see this by my finger.
Yeah.
101st Airborne. That's what my dad was in.
There you go.
The
My dad too.
Screaming Eagles.
Okay, my dad was in the 11th Airborne. But
they had airborne in World War One.
No.
Balloons?
Are you jumping out of a balloon? A Zeppelin?
I used to wear my dad's paratrooper boots in high school.
I just trying to.
Oh, those were hard. Those were hard to walk in.
They were.
Yeah, my dad's the side zip up, Paul. The ankle zip up.
Yeah. They were all lace up, but they were very stiff leather.
Okay, my dad's had the ones that you laced up in front, but there was a side zipper on the inside of the, on inside your ankle there.
That's the type of boot I use when I'm working out back here.
Yeah, Eugene, my dad, he was the same way. He didn't talk about it very much until right at the end. Basically, for him to get his disability, he had to go through the psychiatrist, therapist, all that stuff. And basically, they had to sit down and document everything that they'd been through, this and that, for him to finally get his 100% disability.
No kidding.
Once he got his 100% disability, don't quote me, but I don't think he made it quite a year after that before he passed away.
Oh,
but he got all of his back pay and everything, and had that put in from my mom.
What did he pass away from?
Heart attack.
Mine too.
My
Technically,
uncle was in Vietnam, and he had kidney cancer, and there was several people or whatever, I think from Agent Orange or something or whatever that ended up.
That was one of the effects of Agent Orange, which was heart attack too.
Nasty stuff.
Yeah, he was 72 when he passed. That was last month.
Okay.
Now you need to have your mama file for his Agent Orange.
She gets his disability from VA now.
Yeah,
plus medical and everything.
They had a separate Agent Orange payout because I know that because my mom got my dad's after he passed away. He had filed for it, but when he passed away, they hadn't finished it, and she got a check for like $35,000 or something like that.
Okay. Well, let's just put it this way. After they done his back pay with his Agent Orange, that I know that he done stuff with now, whether it's the same thing, I don't know, but his back pay was over 2 with a couple of zeros there.
Okay, good.
I've been trying for 9 months to get my medical records, and got a letter a couple weeks ago saying they don't exist. And they gave me an address to write to appeal, which I don't know what that's going to do. They claim they don't have them, so it makes it really difficult to apply for.
When did you get out, Tim?
I got out in 94.
See, you probably got the same problem I have. Is that there was a fire in New Orleans. Where they kept all of the documents.
Yeah, I heard about that.
They haven't told me that, but that's possible.
But they're supposed to have it on microfiche somewhere, from what I heard. So, yep, same problem. I've filed to get mine, and I never get them. Never get them.
Yeah, but you were just in the Air Force, right, Tim?
Just
sorry, I had
the brains of the outfit.
Oh my goodness!
Actually, I was in Air Force ROTC in college for a while, and I applied to go to the Air Force Academy, and then I was like third alternate or something to go to the Air Force Academy, but then I couldn't get a Air Force ROTC scholarship after applying to the Academy. So I spent a
Third
couple of years
runner-up.
in
Did
that.
you get a little sachet and everything? And
No, but I marched and did the 34 whatever commands or whatever you had to do out in the middle of the fields at the University of Florida in Gainesville. So
You were a Gator?
I was a Gator for a while.
I went to college.
Nice.
In Florida.
Nice.
We knew something was
Well,
wrong with him, huh, Bob?
I didn't go
guys,
to
I'm
college
heading.
at
I'm gonna
Florida.
see
I went
y'all
to
later.
college in Florida.
Have a good one,
Not
Brad.
Brad.
see you,
All right.
Brad.
See ya.
Yeah.
I think we went a little past what we were thinking anyway.
Yeah. Well, we got off from
boy,
bees
yes.
to everything else.
Yeah. So what do you guys got going on with the bees here?
Well, you know, the first 3 hours of the show, you would have saw that.
If you'd have been on time, Mike.
Yeah, I wanted to spend some time with my granddaughter, and so I apologize.
We're just picking
I
up.
That's a very
understand
good
that.
reason.
No, you're not picking on me there. By the way, did you get that second dog shit I sent you, Bob?
No, it'll probably be here tomorrow.
Trust me, it's actually really good as a replacement for pollen sub. Try it out.
Hey, what I put on there tonight, it was like it. I had left it in the bucket in my kitchen, and it started growing stuff on the top of it. So I definitely scraped all that goop off of the top, and then gave them some pollen sub for the middle of the patty.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, and then I took the bucket when I put it back inside. I put it in the refrigerator, so my extra refrigerator. Let's see.
Man, sorry to hear about that, Hope. That's that's just, I mean,
But you know, you ask those guys about that. Like my dad had 2 bronze stars, one with the V for Valor, and you ask him about it, he's like, that to him was, he didn't do it for that. He just did it to stay alive, right? And it just happened to happen, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously, when they're in that situation, they're not thinking about medals and all that crap. They're thinking about, hey, I just want to breathe tomorrow, you know?
My dad has a little
and you want the man next to
theater
you to breathe.
ballet chest or whatever with all his little patches and all his little insignia and everything in it. You know, his sniper ribbon, is all that kind of stuff in it, and it's all in just a little case, and that just sits in this little place over here, and we don't go in it, we don't mess with it, and I guess one of us will get it when he passes, but that's how it works.
We still got all of my dad's medals.
All right, I'll see y'all later, guys.
All right, Charlie.
Take care.
Charlie.
Chuck,
Good night.
Yeah, it's about that time.
I'm gonna go too. I'll see y'all later.
Have a good one, Dad.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
Joe.
been a long day. Thanks, guys. Been a great show.
Have a good one, Tim.
Hey, I'll leave you guys with something that that was given to my dad.
Oh, there you go.
Heck yeah.
Where'd that come from?
World War II, I guess.
And
That was taken off of a soldier in one of the Pacific battles. So just we tried to have it translated, and it came at a lot of slang that was on it. But the guys would actually wrap these around their bellies and tie them up, and so just one of those things.
So that was
Well,
signed
Joe?
all those people before they went in battle or after your father got it?
No, it was prior to battle. They actually put some type of slang on there, you know, like sayings that we would say something like, you know, it's groovy or, you know, something like that. So fundraiser for Hannah, what's that?
so Hannah was stung and went into anaphylactic shock, so they had to take her to the hospital. And
Okay, right.
Night
So
Lord
then-
Vista.
randomly, Brian from Flower Street says, well, let's get her a full suit. So he started donating, and people donated, I don't know how much.
Really?
Was the total? Yeah, they
What I figured up was 560.
560.
When did this happen?
You came in late, Mike.
I'm sorry, I have a life.
You came in at 10.
Okay, and I'm gonna go out here at well, I guess it's 10:09 for me, but
Yeah.
but
See, we typically
anyways.
try to end at 10, not start at 10.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you check out Gunline Bees channel, he posted a video today about it.
So we're gonna get him a couple of guardian suits so they can continue to keep bees.
Venom therapy would probably be a good thing.
well, that too. Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
And Michael
Well, you know,
will keep
they
joining our
also-
prayers or whatever for the next week while he goes through the rest of his ordeal here as well.
And they
Absolutely.
they do their own work, but they work together as a team. So
Mhm.
if it's down, then puts it on him as well. So
Wow.
hope for
Okay.
the recovery. And hey, it was people in the chat and people that were on the screen were donating. So
Wonderful.
got him a nice little. We're gonna get him some suits and gloves and send it on to him.
How bad did it hit her?
Got her one time in the arm, but said she felt fine. But after just a minute or two, she started turning really, really red. Her tongue started like getting numb and swelling, and her throat started swelling up. And she was having trouble
You got
breathing.
it good.
So
Have to go-
they called 911.
Man.
Said they gave her 2 shots of epinephrine and basically unloaded the medicine cabinet on the ambulance.
I should get my hand on an EpiPen just in case somebody around me gets stung.
Yeah, I'm more worried about that. Someone coming to buy honey or something and getting zapped.
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
did when Ricky and Ruth come here. She got stung, and I'd never really thought about it before because, I mean, I didn't have no reaction, so I didn't have no EpiPens here. But after they left, I got some now.
So if you can't get an EpiPen or you can't afford one of the things in my bee kit is a Benadryl, a full like 12 doses of Benadryl in there, and all in bubble shrink and just in case, But yeah, an EpiPen would be great, but yeah, actually, I have to talk to my pharmacist about that.
It's not a bad to
See
have
about
one
picking
on
that up.
standby, that's for sure.
You have to get a prescription
Absolutely.
for it. Have to get a prescription.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on
So-
where you live, I guess.
True. At least I know in the U.S. you have to have a prescription, they said.
Yeah, Canada they give away drugs like for free. It's like Pez.
That still doesn't explain Trudeau.
Don't talk about him, please.
Hey, you guys all take care. I'm gonna run and
All right, good night, Mike.
yeah, take care. And Russell, don't
weather
call
to
me
you.
too early tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you. Bye bye.
Have a good one, Mike.
All right, guys. Well, we've been on for 3 hours and 7 minutes now. So
Yep.
Only 3 more hours to go.
no, not for me.
You, I work tomorrow.
I got to get up in like 5 hours.
Yep. So
All right. See you guys later. I guess Bob, you'll be on. Let me see. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so I guess you'll be going live after the stream team, and Thursday you'll go live.
I don't know.
about
You notice
7.
I haven't
Friday about
been-
7 again, and Saturday. What time Saturday?
I've been on this new medicine, man, and it's been hard for me to adjust to it or something because it's been knocking me out. Last night I went to bed at like 7:05 and woke up this morning to go to work, and that's very unusual for me. So it's maybe the medicine is a good thing. I'm getting some rest. I don't know, but
Well, my phone keeps dinging at about 11 or 12 o'clock during the day. Bob's live.
oh yeah, sometimes I come home for lunch and I'm like, hey, check out what's happening out here. So,
Me and Paul probably watching you live at the same time then.
Yeah.
He's sitting in the office. I'm sitting in the crane.
see, I'll be famous in Louisiana. All them people coming by. Look, who's that guy?
Who's that guy? It's just Bob. You'll catch him tomorrow if you miss him today.
Yeah, if you miss it tomorrow, you can go back and watch it later. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and end this one for tonight, and we'll see you next time, I guess.
Yep.
And
Y'all have a good night. Thank
Y'all have
y'all
a
for
great day
coming.
tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.